What is up, y'all? It's your boy Yannick coming at you with the Church of MHA episode 27, My Hero Academia chapter 323, live reaction and discussion with the squad. We got a stacked deck today. Whew. It's been a while, but we back. We back with a vengeance. And I say that literally because East was taking screenshots of all kind of stuff today that I don't even know what he was taking screenshots of yet. I just know he's been screenshotting. He coming for some people. He coming for your neck. Your neck, this East.
Catching y'all niggas in 4K.
Just know if you slipped up talking that reckless, East might have a screenshot of you.
Let's see who slips between the cracks.
Now, first things first, though, we got to address who's here. So, first off, we got Archbishop East in the building.
Undefeated of the East, baby. What it do? And if I caught you in 4K, I did not come to play.
We got Bishop Watkins.
Yo, what's good, everybody? It's been a while since we've been on stream right now, and it's been a while since we've been able to praise, because it's been a while. Give me the hail hories. That's all I got.
Shoot, I'm just glad to hear a modern rendition of "It's Been a While."
Oh, you're welcome.
You know, that's for us 90s babies. Anyway. We got Bishop Sayez.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are on this planet.
That's a fair way to phrase it, wherever you are on the planet, with our very international audience. It's one of the things that fills me with pride. Now, we got Bishop Tarnish.
The wait for this chapter in particular was so hard because it was like we had a break, and then it's like the slander on the TL of one character in particular who was very like, I don't know why this character gets people upset, but listen, this chapter was worth the wait. I love it. You feel me? We gonna enjoy MHA. Man's closing his door. Where's the broom at?
All right. We see we got people rolling in.
Where the broom? Where the broom?
You know what? I was actually thinking about bringing that back. Hold on. I got you. Let's see if I can pull it off on live stream. Let's see if I can get the broom set up. By the time I get the broom set up, we should be at 50 people. Tell your friends.
He challenging y'all, not even himself.
See, when you set a broom up right, you polarize the earth.
You're outside the frame.
Field.
If you get it to do what it do.
Look at that. We got the broom up. What's good?
Yeah, I got it up.
Yeah, it's up now. You can't see it?
No.
Yeah, I can't.
No.
Hold up.
I believe you though.
There it is. You see it now?
There it is.
Yeah, boy. Hold up. Let me just.
Damn, don't even read the chat because
I can't read the chat because they out here dropping spoilers.
it's a little one. It's a little small one.
Dropping the spoilerinos. All right.
Gotta relax.
Oh, yeah. 35 viewers.
Removing y'all comments. Y'all need to relax real quick.
Damn.
We didn't start the thing yet, nigga.
Yeah.
Need y'all niggas to relax.
Got Brendan De La Cruz here. Avitorino. Speed Blitz. The fact that we got a Karibo in the chat, I love it. See, Nader's here. We got all the classics, the GOATs. All right. Y'all clearly eager, so I'm gonna just go ahead and start the chat. If you ain't come in this early, it's on you. I mean, you know, we be talking about this all the time. It is what it is. Let's pull up this chapter.
If you really want to, we could talk about the anime for 4 minutes before 12.
No, I don't even want to.
Hey,
I don't do just that shit, dog.
The only way I will explain all my thoughts on the anime during this stream is if this stream tops last stream. And it can't be Nader carrying all the weight. I gotta qualify that because I know my boy Nader will do it.
I was just watching the episode before the stream started. I mean, I watched it yesterday, but you know, it was good. Like for what it was, the chapters that got adapted were good. The voice acting from Shiggy's VA is top tier. I've been waiting to hear those lines in particular by his VA. I don't have no faith for the dub actor, but you know, I'm open to be proven wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But like what they did to my boy Spinner was just terrible.
Nah,
like, I have to say it. I have to say it. Like I don't like being negative, but like I don't like his character arc getting deleted like that almost.
Nah, listen, this is what I will say. All right. The whole cutting certain things, the Redestro Yamashita shit, okay, it is what it is.
We might see that next episode.
I don't know about Yamashita. I know we'll see Redestro and them linking up in the hospital when they get gearing, because that was on the trailer for the next thing. All right, CRC, no CRC, cool. It is what it is, whatever. The Spinner, that thing in the hut when they were broke.
When he yoked Shigaraki up.
Yes, that was hot. That was the start of his actual character arc. And then later in the MVA, he said, he goes like from, yo, what the fuck are we doing? Then he sees Shigaraki's speech, starts getting, oh, this is what he's actually about. Then he's like, I have to, in the MVA, yo, I have to do something to relieve the stress from Shiggy. Then it trickles down into the war. Come back to the league.
They might cut that out too.
Come back to the league. Trickle down the war. Come back to the league. This is your home. Then yo, you not the nigga I follow talking like that. It like understand some shit getting cut, but that was highly fucking important for that character. People like they don't care about Spinner. It's that other. Yeah,
nah, they clearly
arc.
don't.
They couldn't have a character arc before.
I love how Aniki is just like, we're only gonna talk about the anime if this stream tops the last stream. Now let's talk about the anime.
I had to, bro. I couldn't keep that to myself. I'm sorry, but like that shit really hurt.
Let me put it this way. The problem is even bigger than Spinner. Spinner stuff is a symptom of it. That's why I'm like, if I'm gonna actually sit here and go through all the reasons why I like this particular, because the other thing about it is,
and we got to 50 viewers anyway, so starting time was pretty good.
If I explain what happened, you're gonna be like, damn, this is also why Aniki wasn't interested in anybody's complaints on the TL, because almost none of these TL complaints were as nuanced or as complex as this one. And that's why it's been like real irritating for me too. So I'm like, y'all talking about the anime onlys aren't gonna be worried about Shigaraki dying. And I'm like, yeah, that's not the issue here. But My Hero Academia chapter 323, we got it pulled up. We going live. See, I'm gonna just keep the broom up for the rest of the year. Make sure we get stuff popping right at bounds. All right. First page. We opening up. Principal's office. Sir, you spoke of the UA barrier proving its worth, but at the same time, we understand Midoriya's concerns too. If we are to drag him back to school, we'll need convincing evidence, which is why I said we would follow him. This concerns the safety and security of the evacuees. This is no mere appeal to sentiment. It can be said that Midoriya is now the most valuable battle asset that the heroes have. So, no matter what happens next, it would be risky to give him shelter at an unprepared substandard facility. UA is equipped with our nation's most advanced defense technology for that very reason. We pride ourselves on being as well defended as Tartarus even. Tartarus.
Next page.
Read on.
Shigaraki easily broke through Tartarus's defense. Indeed, ever since he attacked UA last year, I have put considerable thought into the threat posed by Shigaraki, which is precisely why I've added my own personal touches to the fortifications of UA's defense system. Who knew that was possible? There was much heated debate. To make a long story short, and if an invasion were to begin at this very moment, no harm would come to the evacuees or students. A villain incursion would not succeed. The UA barrier is more than mere walls. UA itself can travel. Hold up. Let me just snatch that W from the skies. Because the last time I talked about it, I was like, yo, they kind of sound like they're talking about a Megazord here. So, oh, UA can travel. Damn, it's almost like it's going to be morphin' time. Let's go. Let's go. Thought we'd have a series where Godzilla's canon and we wouldn't have at least a little bit of Mechazords. Nah.
Bro, I thought I seen that one color page. I was texting that nigga Giorno and Torrance. I was like, nah, dog. Nigga Hori seen Ava. The nigga Nezu when he step up, not once yet to show his true brain power. I'm like, nah, cuz they ain't finna just be sitting ducks in this bitch.
Yeah, that's the best part I took away out of all of this Nezu exposition about the barrier. Like, I wanted to see this man be smart in some capacity.
The grounds are partitioned like a game board. Da-doom. Interesting onomatopoeia. And each section is equipped with mechanisms that transform it into an underground emergency shelter. Then those individual shelters enter a lineal maglev network that can send them along any number of routes at our discretion.
Take that in. Look at that page for a second. Just take that in.
How did he do that shit, boy?
Yo, East, following this, remember that conversation we had the other day? I say now more than ever that MHA is one of my favorite universes of all time. Easily after this, if they could do stuff like this at the trick of a hat, just
I tried to tell you, this nigga already said
existed. This already existed.
It definitely did. No.
Yeah, the framework for this was already there. He just finally got it approved.
Oh yeah, wait. I'm glad that you said that because they this was in one of the school briefs, volume 5, I think. Yeah. Where at the end of school briefs, Ida, Tokoyami, and some other people I can't remember.
It was Kirishima and Shoji.
Yeah, they found an underground thing at UA, and it was just like a little funny, like, little thing in school briefs, and it's like, okay, so Nezu was been working on this. Since another little example of why other material matter, but
All right, it's like we're living in a giant robot anime. However, it would all be for naught if the system itself were to crumble. Therefore, we fortified the ground with 3,000 layers of bulwark plates. Should the system detect unusual activity, a countermeasure will activate, and the connecting pillars will unlock, rendering each plate independently mobile. This will significantly delay an incoming attack, during which time the shelters can speed off to safety. Shiketsu was the first to fortify their security system in a similar manner, in the wake of learning that an imposter had posed as a student of theirs. It's just one among several other schools with hero courses that could provide a haven should we need to flee. So, what this says to me is that the final battle doesn't take place at UA, and if it does, it's going to be them raiding UA with UA as the base of the villainy, not UA getting attacked as the base and a bastion for good. That's all I'm gonna say there. Shiketsu, that's a long ways away. UA in the East. Okay, yep, they brought it up. Yep, come to think of it, alluded to in volume 8 after the supplementary licensing course. This upgrade seemed designed to deal with decay transmitting through objects, but how could you have known at the time of the school festival how his quirk would evolve? Indeed, there was no existing evidence for such a thing. I relied on my intuition. That is why I covered the expenses myself out of pocket. That's got to be
another super rich guy. A rich man. Bro.
Fuck everybody.
This nigga the traitor. Anyway.
Oh God, he is.
I mean, you don't make that much money with being
wait,
director of a school. Right?
Wait, hold up. In Nezu's defense, I think he's the traitor. I'm just playing devil's advocate. Like, his intuition, he is the principal of UA. He's seen a bunch of quirks evolve, and him remembering that Shigaraki was able to decay that barrier. Like, if he's really not the traitor, and we're supposed to take him like at face value, and he really is like the smartest person ever, then he could figure out, okay, maybe one day Shigaraki could evolve to decay other things, so I should prepare just in case. That could be an argument you could use, but I still think he's shady.
I just like to throw out the fact that the deepness within the universe, that it will make sense that the fucking principal is, we don't even know how old, but we know he over 40 years old because the nigga was there since All Might and probably before that. And he one of the most smartest niggas in the universe. It will make sense that he got fucking deep pockets. And this nigga been the principal of the fucking biggest school that basically runs some shit bigger than the Olympics for over like 40. Yeah, over 40, 50 years. Like, I would assume he got banked.
But that's a lot. That's
So
even working at a really great school.
Tony Stark, he is Tony Stark level of smart technically.
So but he doesn't have Tony Stark's industry.
So
he wouldn't need to.
How do you know that?
The only justification I can think of is consultation fees. So like, if he did a bunch of Sherlock shit and got paid off it. So like, because heroes also get paid for their cases and stuff. So if he's out here just doing consulting and helping on a bunch of cases, or did at some point, and then just made some good index fund investments and, you know, let that stuff blow up, I guess.
Let me go.
Wait. I think you should keep reading because Endeavor actually, like, you know.
Yeah, the principal's major contributions to quirk morality education have made him a man of worldwide renown. That work of his continues to this very day. Of course, because he was very heavily experimented on. Lack of understanding, intolerance. It seems we're always just one step away. Try as it might, humanity struggles to make true progress down its path. Issues shift and voices clash, making that single step feel like an impossible journey. In any case, I believe there's a sound argument to be made for him being here with us. Go on, tackle the matter with your full power.
Hey, so you want to wait? I'm gonna address this Nezu shit real quick. If just like you said, consultation fees, y'all do realize, like I just said, he's literally the Tony Stark of the universe. You know how Tony Stark made his money? Building shit for other people and selling it. If you have the smartest brain, of course we can't keep up with you. I would come pay you big bucks to advance my systems or get your ideas, and you use that. Just like I said, consultation fees. Like I said, he's been doing this for over 40 years, probably 50 years. We know that for a fact, because he was there running the shit when Toshinori was there. And we know All Might basically like 50 years old. Over 50 years old. Like, so we know this nigga's been doing this shit for over. You can build, I'm pretty sure Tony Stark can build a fortune as like that quickly. He can do the same too.
All Might is
of course. I don't say that
bare minimum 54. Bare minimum.
He's about 56.
Yeah, because he had the quirk, and he got the quirk in high school, and they said he carried that shit for 40 years.
Yeah, so bare minimum 14, like 14 is when he got it. 40 years one for all. Bare minimum is 54, and we know he's older than that. But it's like that's the low ball. That's as low. That's as low as you can go. Is 54.
No, I'm not saying that it's unrealistic that he can make so much money with the smarts he's got. Of course he can. Just that so far we didn't see him do anything that would help him make this much money. So there has to be a lot of stuff going on in the background that we've just haven't really touched upon yet.
That's the rule of relevancy once again, because like what would we focus on for Nezu? Like, oh, look at Nezu's collections, like maybe a bonus chapter, but like, you know, same way this shit happened with Ujiko. You didn't know what that nigga had. His pockets ran that deep until they covered when it was relevant. Like, yeah, Ujiko, we just exposed his entire fucking foundation that this nigga be doing this shit. But
facet of his operation.
Yeah, so it's like,
so it's like we were just saying, like Nezu being this rich, like that means Nezu is almost guaranteed a certified billionaire.
He has to be. I mean, he's having spent multiple millions of yens.
Yeah, like
multiple hundreds.
I say more. I say more than that. I say
that nigga's a bank boy.
Yeah, like
bank on them hoes.
Which, you know, for some reason, for some reason, we have to go to bare minimum because, you know, people love to downplay and lowball. You know,
well, we gotta say he's sitting on at least a couple billion, because like the what matters here is that being able to do hundreds of millions of yen or a couple million to several hundred million.
Not quite the same in dollars.
Like it'll probably be because like Katakuri's only worth like $10 million or something like that. Because berries are yen, so you can convert Katakuri's bounty into like $9 million some dollars. So that hundreds of millions, but it's like to have 15, 20, $30 million in liquid assets usually means that in a state and all these other things, you've got a couple extra 100 million to billion to let you just drop like 10 million in a year with no consequences.
Oh, and laugh about it and laugh it off.
Yeah, and Terrence Bernard brought up a good point. Private school principals and headmasters can make six figures easily. At consulting with investing, this ain't a stretch if you lived on campus. Dead ass.
Yeah. What's like 100 million yen? I have to just. Yeah, no, it's a lot less in dollars. I just want Is it like
with Nezu doing consultation fees and being like that said, what I will say is that
because
just like
100 million is not that
concerts,
much.
yeah, like just like concerts are sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars just for playing before you factoring in like tickets and stuff like that. Nezu could have capitalized off of his status as a freak, quote, to make sure he got banked in the early years, just going around talking and like fighting for and advocating and getting sponsorships that way. So
And
Yeah,
then plus,
I want to say this too about Nezu's age. Just a little thing we can say is like he treats Endeavor and All Might like students still. He treats
Yeah,
them like
alright.
he treats them like little boys to him still.
Yeah.
He
So
talks to
100 million yen.
he stopped All Might from leaving at USJ. All Might, he kept him from leaving. And Endeavor, he was like, "Oh, you've grown up, Todoroki." Like,
them
Yeah.
his sons. What you about to say, sir?
So 100 million yen is like $910,000. So it's not. I mean, it's a lot of money, but it's not that much.
yeah,
Yeah,
But
true.
if you call,
Somebody might know.
if you do that twice to 3 times a year, think about how
Kaminari
much
said
that is.
Kaminari said a few hundred million.
Yeah, a
yen.
few hundred, but
But think again, the amount of time he had to accumulate this over 50 years, easily over 50 years. Like that's a long ass time, bro. The biggest school, and that's just constant. That's just like we like one consultation fee, and then that's not to put on the salary for the biggest school in the world. Then they got like, then he got to think they paying this nigga to film him for the sports festival because it's bigger than the Olympics. On top of that, so all that shit, and then they got sponsors. All man, that nigga making that's too much. There's too much stuff to calculate.
Time out. We dragging this on. I want to talk about. You know what I'm saying?
this did lead to me starting to look into things like survival bunkers and stuff. And a good bunker that somebody was using to generate a bunch of LSD seemed to only cost about $3 million when it got rated back in 2000, and it was producing a third of the country's LSD. So you know, I guess like 600-700, but like with this having such an interconnected system, guarantee this is a multi, like up to 100, 200, $300 million investment. So yeah, the point is this nigga dumb rich.
something else about this system is just I don't know. When I read this, I was just worried because you know we all had this, and we talked about this idea that the robots in UA might not be friendly, and now essentially this system is all based on the technology working. It just gives me headaches.
So the one thing I will say is that in the interview, Horikoshi did say that the robots had a previous rebellion. So another W for the church, because. But that aside, I do agree that like being completely reliant on technology seems a little odd. I think that if that's the case, though, the other side of that is Shiketsu's people and what they'll do in response to the UA protocols going wild, or if that causes problems at Shiketsu. So we've had a balancing mechanism for it. If something weird happens at UA, not only do they have the ability to send people to Shiketsu, but theoretically Shiketsu would also have that same ability to return and send people there too, because Shiketsu could also just get attacked, because that's still a high quality military spot. Regardless, the base of operations and assets are important, and the Makia line can come into play again.
All for one wouldn't sleep.
Yeah,
all for one wouldn't sleep on Shiketsu.
Right.
He said UA was like dumpster diving at a 3-star restaurant. Shiketsu, the same thing.
Yep. All right. Let's get back to the chapter.
Facts.
Page 7. Whew. It's been a while since it took that long. Don't let that kid enter UA. Shigaraki will come after him. UA guaranteed us we'd be safe here. Keep him out. Get lost, kid. Having one for all makes him a Nomu, right?
The ignorance, boy.
Yo,
dumbass civilians.
The ignorance, nigga. The ignorance.
How dare they talk to Deku like that?
It's Jiro's father, right?
Yeah.
He looks
right there.
And
that's my father. Yeah, that's my father-in-law.
Mitsuki holding Inko back.
You know, I said that they was friends. I said that they was friends a long time ago. Somebody told me they wasn't. I remember that.
Hold on. We gotta shout out my boy, my goat, Nato Monoma. Hanging out, keeping little areas.
Yes.
That's Phantom.
I love that they have no relationship going.
Lil Coda too with Ragdoll.
Well, think about it. What would have happened is
We still haven't seen Mandalay yet. Interesting.
What easily could have happened is even though like he needed to stockpile so that he could copy her quirk, what might have happened is they might just have spent days where like they tried to work together.
True.
And he tried to figure out what her quirk was so that he could help her. So it makes sense.
I mean, theoretically, if he touches her again and again and again and again,
yeah, he can just keep refreshing.
Right? Now look at that. Now I want you to zoom into that panel with Monomo, correct? Now, if you
horn.
If you zoom very closely, I don't see a fucking horn. Spent all that damn time during the war. Oh, if Henry just come back, you can pick
there's a
tiny
one.
Nah, because we spent hours on stream. People want to rant about
I swear we
all
did.
goddamn day.
For no reason.
Yeah,
She's chilling at you ain't her horn still.
But isn't it a tiny horn there?
I want to
So,
who's she healing now? I bet you Aizawa still ain't got no damn leg.
Because she always has like that. She always got that little base nub.
Yeah.
So her horn never completely goes away. So that's like the post overhaul arc nub that she's got there.
Yeah, that's the point though. It's not that ain't giving off no damn energy. She already used her shit.
Yo, you see the phone? Yo, you see the phone too? The theories.
Hold on. All right, y'all. Let me read the chat.
We're not even past the code up panel.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, too scary. The people still screaming. Go someplace. We're just supposed to let them hide here. They don't seem convinced, Sarah. While Ida just looked like he could low-key fold these people.
You can.
No glasses. Ida will always be the best Ida. Look at my nigga looking sex. That's my class president right there.
And then theory, Shigaraki is after a UA student. Also bringing back this previous newscaster who I think was the one who reported that Endeavor wasn't liked.
He reported about Deka City too.
Yeah. And he was because when he was talking about the Endeavor situation, he was alongside the coon.
Shout out to my guy. He making a bag off this.
So yeah, like again, Horikoshi maintaining that inner narrative consistency. See, this is why I've been thinking about just doing a video, because I have yet to do a video that is just me straight up being like, MHA is good, here's why, you damn nerds.
You haven't.
I like the title of that video.
Do it.
So that's in the back of my mind, and I don't even need to write a script for that. I'm gonna just go through different categories, with the last one being consistency.
Yeah, that's consistency.
You see that?
Like consistency will be the final like section of that video. It's like just discussing.
Yo, the consistency is so good, bro. Like I feel like I live in this world. I feel like I live in this world sometimes.
How many of you caught that Ida point?
The hands fit?
I didn't peep into your video, dog.
Says, do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
So when Ida grabs Midoriya's hand, where he specifically uses his left, because that's the hand that got injured when he was fighting with Deku against Stain, and the right hand is the one he fucking decked him with. Like Horikoshi being like left hand, friendship, right hand beats Deku's ass. Like what?
Horikoshi said that he writes little bullet points like that for characters.
Yeah.
So, like, man, when I tell y'all I be trying to reverse engineer this man's brain to figure shit out, that's what I be meaning.
And we still have yet to figure out everything.
Bro, I'm trying to tell y'all, stop trying to check this nigga. Y'all can't check this nigga. You can't keep up. By the time you forgot one thing, it's 5 other things that's already been in play that come back out, and you see
like, the robots are viable traitor candidates. Corey's, no, they already betrayed us. Relax. Okay.
nigga said, hold on. He said, hold on, beer. I got something better. He said, that was last year, nigga.
Bro, I love how he talks during interviews, because it's really like you could ask him any question and he could answer it off the bat, like with a perfect explanation that fits in everything in the story. Like, and we could just say, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. At any point, you can just ask him anything and he could answer it. Like, that's amazing.
All right, let me get back into it. Some of them were more understandable earlier, but not all of their doubts could be assuaged. Let's keep calm, folks. Mike even making it a point to use a megaphone just to be nice. This is a difficult argument to hear coming from school teachers. It was I who made this proposal. Genie? It's genius. We're only here because we trusted you. Indeed. As the principal has explained, UA is currently the safest place to be. Your safety is our top priority. At first, we decided to take the fight to the enemy. We used Izuku Midoriya as bait in hopes of learning the villain's location. However, our search grid wasn't sufficiently wide enough, and the operation met with limited success. Izuku Midoriya may be the villain's target, but he is also one of our ultimate resources in battle. Allowing him to grow even more, worn and frayed, could lead to a fatal loss. Is this the optimal course of action? No. We now rely on our backup plan. I understand why you do not willingly welcome the omen of unease. Endeavor and the classic, okay.
Nah, that
He
shit
knows.
is so
He
funny.
knows.
Hold on,
He
hold on.
knows he has no
Because-
place to say anything.
One of my favorite art pieces, and I think it was from Cade Art on Twitter, was the AU detective with Hawks and Endeavor, where they were dressed like 1920s detectives. So yeah, I've always liked the buddy cop dynamic they had, so this is kind of perfect for me. But please allow him to rest his weary body in the secure stronghold so that when needed, he can once again jolt back into battle in peak condition.
Hey man, listen, real quick before we go for 3 things. Yes, Mega Kuribo. No one is a bigger MHA nerd than Horikoshi. That's correct. Y'all can't check that nigga. And
Right.
Ricardo, yes, Ricardo Santos. Hori must have like a blueprint for everything. Wow,
He does.
who would have thought the nigga that wrote his own series? I mean,
that everybody has.
hello, but and we call him Genius Genie. Genius is the
Shout out to Genus for stepping up.
bro.
As
Genius
always.
is Genie.
He always rises to the occasion.
This is
every
my thing
time.
about Genius. This don't make no sense. This is one of my things about Fat Gum and Genius. You can literally have a static character and they still be fucking great. Genius hasn't changed since the day we met him. All he's done is just do more gold shit. That's
Oh
it.
God, bro, he's
Fat Gum been the same nigga
person.
since he popped up, and all he does is just do more shit and get more
That's a
better.
hero.
Like,
That's how Horikoshi crafts his hero characters.
Oh,
Like, okay, like
Uh,
let's throw this character into this.
and I'm so confused. Of like, I need a Genius. I don't need a Genius backstory, but I need like, who taught this nigga how to be this goated? Like, who raised this nigga up? It's just like, bro.
He went to UA. He was at UA.
Okay. So did Endeavor.
Yeah.
You know.
Genius is
And he
pretty
a great
goaded,
hero, too.
but
Oh,
the real
well.
question we gotta ask is, where is he producing them sweatpants, and does it include child labor? That's the real question.
Bro, he would never do that.
I feel like yes, he
Laugh out just everybody joined up with no comment whatsoever.
right? Says who the fuck?
First, I
Okay.
stared at my pontoon
All
and
right.
suddenly quit.
We got the full squad, except for Ponzu.
No, Ponzo is here. He just
Like
just
the
stared at me.
stream, or he'll.
Okay,
Holy
so
moly.
No.
we got the whole squad. First time in a while. The Avengers have
Bro,
fully
listen.
assembled.
Listen, bro, I be lurking. I'm like, who's that one Avenger? I'm like Thor post Ragnarok. I just didn't show up. I was in space for like a good amount of time, you know.
Wow. Really,
Like, you know,
bro?
I came back and
Hey.
but I came back with a Stormbreaker. So it's
It's a shame that fucking film didn't show up. Anyway, no way. Some heroes you are, no dice. And Danger Sense. Again, the utilization of paneling that Horikoshi has, some of my favorite.
like
Just this entire page being Danger Sense bolted out.
Mm.
That unease. Also, I'm gonna point out that one of those dudes' heads kind of looks like a dick. And that just makes sense to me.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah, he's a
Oh.
dickhead. Give us a freaking break. We all we want spreads until it explodes. There's a safe place to sleep at night. Gravity? Oh, Chaco. Bakugo having the raindrops. Is it time? Is he recognizing her strength too? She's going all the way to the top. That Izuku Midoriya has a special power in him. Yeah, good for him. He wants a break. So what? He doesn't got a rest here? You don't get it. He left school in the first place because he didn't want to make trouble for anyone. We were the ones who brought him back here. Uraraka, that power of his, yeah, it's really special. It's a power that exists to beat all for one. That's why they're after him. That's why he had to leave this place. He left and went through who knows what out there. Take a good look at him. More than anyone,
Huge shoes.
he wishes he could fix everything. You're looking at a guy who could be attacked at any second, but continues to move forward anyway. So really look at him, please. It's him. He's the boy who saved me.
Just
Fox
noticed now.
girl coming back. Special powers are one thing, but there's no such thing as a special person. We've got this whole crazy defense system to protect these people, but they're still so scared. And we're here to step in when you can't handle it all alone. That single step, just sitting in the hands of Cementos, feels like an impossible journey. And I believe when someone takes that unlikely step and carves a path, the ultimate hero will rise up, one who surpasses even Yagi. Yes, even All Might himself.
I'm sure Nezu just shrunk. He wasn't that tiny before.
Shout out to Cementos. You know, he's the real goat of this chapter. He was holding the future of the series in his palm.
Yo, my boy J10 marked him up. You see that iron plate? That's where he got stabbed by ice.
Oh, Joseph Ciola coming through. Reminder, Class A didn't set off danger sense while actively fighting Izuku, and the crowd made it to go off this badly.
It's activated by hostile intent.
Listen, they're dangerous. These dumbass people.
Yeah, we're gonna beat his ass.
They fucking.
They was gonna get folded if they tried.
Beat who ass?
They said they were gonna try. They were gonna try.
That wasn't.
Hey, guess what? Guess what? I can. I can try to. I can try.
You see how many goons he got around him?
I could try to beat Brock Lesnar in the arm wrestling contest, but that nigga gonna snap my fucking arm back like a twig.
Well, I mean, the better.
No, but they Deku would have let them beat him up, so they were
a
dangerous.
better example would be like I don't know. Actually, there is no better example because Brock Lesnar. You see, because Deku would be Brock Lesnar in this situation. He wouldn't fight back.
No,
we arm wrestling. That nigga snap my shit like a twig. Anyway, like Tarnish said, he got goons. I don't care if my nigga not swinging. If they rolled up with my homie, I give a fuck. You think Ida
gonna stand there? You think Ida gonna stand there and let civilians rag on Deku?
Yeah, but do you think Deku would just watch and not do anything when his friends beat up civilians?
He gonna leave. Deku just gonna leave because he gonna.
They're not gonna beat him up though.
Deku not gonna. If Deku not gonna touch the civilians, he's not gonna touch his friends just like he didn't do last time. He gonna leave and be like, I need to stop causing trouble for everybody because that nigga don't think about himself as per usual.
No, he would sacrifice himself.
He gonna leave. He's just gonna be like, I'm just gonna leave, man, because you know what? He's not gonna stop his friends. He's not gonna stop the civilians. So he just gonna take the out and leave. See me, I'm a ride for my homie. They ain't gonna put their hands on my nigga. That's all the shit he don't do.
So here's my thing about this is that if you zoom in on Bakugo on the final page, you can see the irritation in his eyes, like the bloodshot nature of the veins starting to pop. So he's already ready to whoop people's asses over this.
Yeah.
Like if you look closer,
he doesn't even understand why they're acting this way. He's like, you got this whole armor.
You have this world, you have all this technology, and you have us. Why are you crying? And he's right.
He's like, can y'all stop being bitch made for 5 minutes? We the ones actually in danger all the time.
I would have been talking that shit. I'm like, I don't see a single one of you niggas out there in the street. Where you at? In the
If Furadaka didn't jump up, he was going to.
Yeah, that's why he got shocked. He was like, oh shit. She was tired of that shit. She was like, you saw her. She was speaking last chapter. Then Jeannie came up, on mic. She was like, oh, these niggas still talking, huh? I got somebody there. Wait.
I gotta say, MHA civilians are some of my least likable civilians out there.
That's because
they real.
I know.
That's because they're the most entitled, which is actually accurate to real society.
Yeah. That's the thing. When people feel have the comforts, they don't want to lose that. When they lose that, they go nuts. That's what happens every time.
MHA civilians feel like you got like a whole group of like a bunch of Facebook anti-vaxxers, and you just put them into society with superpowers. That's what it feels like to me.
Okay. So this is something that I cannot stress enough. And it's something that I don't know if I've ever directly stated, but it needs to be said. My Hero Academia objectively created a realistic society.
Yeah.
Because the entire framework of this narrative for its social status and standings and behavioral patterns is to mirror the late 80s through early 90s and into modern Japan, incorporating the narrative of modern Japanese history into an actual story.
And when you say that to niggas, they think that you have a theory.
Pause. Flag on the plate. Flags on the plate. Flag on the plate. Hold on.
Nader, hold on, slow down. First off, Nader, we always appreciate you coming through. Important message. Make sure you guys all support Nader here. Yo, guys, sorry I won't be able to support you the way I want to. I got into an accident on Highway 285. So it's just me doing what I can. Hey, look, man, you just take care of yourself. I hope your vehicle's functional. I hope your limbs, you didn't come away with any critical injuries. And more importantly, I hope that you can prove it's the other person's fault so that you don't have extra expensive bills.
Yeah, bro.
Like, I want you safe, comfortable, bro. Because the medical, depending on what country you're in, you're already stuck dealing with a bunch of medical bills potentially and car repairs and stuff like that. So I hope that at the very least, it's not something that they're going to try to pin on you and make your life more complicated.
In conclusion, we hope that you're safe and hopefully you can get a bag.
Yeah, bro. I'm pretty sure he's in America. He said Highway 285, but bro, don't worry about us, bro. Like, we appreciate everything you do. This is like, you guys don't have to do. It's just showing up and support more enough that we appreciate. So you doing the extra mile, we definitely fucking appreciate that. So it's time for us to support you. I hope you guys somebody take care of you on that platform. And if they try to flex on you, bro, just let me know the state. You know what I'm saying? I can just let me know homeboy info, and if they want to take it there, you know, I ain't gonna say I ain't gonna say I'm doing that. But a nigga don't show up to court, you know what I'm saying? Hey, but I hope you feel better.
He's really pulling a combobulous Michael Rick and Morty. That's crazy.
Hey, I'm not saying I'm gonna do nothing, but if he don't show up, hands in the air.
He just mysteriously disappeared.
Hey, you never know. Maybe he got spooked.
Look, all I'm just saying is that we can take him fishing.
If you ever seen The Godfather, that's all I'm gonna say. Whoa, Tony finally back. Yo, it been like 30 years since the nigga came here. Man,
totally healthy. That's what's important.
Yeah, okay.
All right, guys. I have to say something. We are here with 98 people. Please.
Hold on. Let Ponzu speak.
So yeah, guys, we are here back together, the whole team. Please, guys, let's all here. Our people. Like the stream, show your love. Yeah, this is what I wanted to say. And the thing about it is, like, even when I was talking to somebody, like, he's young but still, he told me that I was crazy to say that My Hero Academia was a societal story about that we social issues, and it is like a critique on the society in general of Japan. And I was thinking to myself, then, am I crazy? Or the thing that we talk the thing that we talk every day here. And guys, I don't know who watch other YouTubers, they talk also about this though. I hope that they talk about also that impact about how the people react to all this stuff. I just want to hear about the people, if they watch other YouTubers, maybe they can tell me, because I'm lost, right? I was lost when I heard this.
You see, when people refer to socio-political issues, they don't actually refer to that. What they actually mean is ineffective narratives that don't actually address the topic and have practically no actual solutions to to a problem that's already shallowly portrayed. Because something actually subtle and complex would be too hard and nuanced for them to actually get.
Or to convey. Yeah.
In conclusion, it's
Wait.
You know what? I'll be nice. It's a lack of education.
Here's
okay.
Listen. Okay. So, also, East. I want you to know, it's partially niggas like you fought the anime went the way it is.
Niggas like me.
Niggas who say they don't like politics and anime.
What do you mean?
I said I don't like that shit in general. What you mean, cuz?
No, I know.
That's
But
crazy.
the people who say that they don't like politics and anime are part of the reason why the My Hero anime is being adapted the way it is.
Oh, this shit ain't got shit to do. This shit ain't got shit to do with me, the nigga. I don't care
know
about
what you
politics
mean.
in general.
I don't know what
Yeah.
you mean by that.
The thing about the thing
We'll
that
talk
makes
about
that
it after
statement.
stream.
By that.
Hold on,
I know
wait.
what he means by that as well.
The thing that makes that statement like so, like to me at least, nonsensical is that all media is in some fashion political. Even
Fact.
the lack of political language is political. To quote George Orwell.
So yeah, but so that's all I'm gonna say about that, because that's the maybe like I want to make sure that the season gets to finish first before I really tear into that aspect. But yeah,
All right, we'll say that talk for the locker room.
But yeah,
I'm not even commenting on what Squid said, because like I said, I don't know what the fuck. But and honestly, we gonna clarify what you meant later. So since we missed last week, let's run this back, because I recall some of y'all niggas saying Horikoshi set up Ochiko and Bakugo, but they didn't do shit. But damn, look at that 322. That goes shout out to Bakugo finally fucking apologizing. And damn, Ochiko got 2 chapters, or you want to call it 1.5 and be petty. It's still more than Ida and Bakugo. Damn, that's crazy. What's that called? Payoff. And let me tell y'all niggas something. Now, the more so I think about a lot of shit, why the fuck would some of this stuff actually happen at the end of the series? Let's logically put this into place. At the time by 285 wrapped around, even a little bit before that, the amount of growth Bakugo had, to think that it actually takes to the end of the series for him just to apologize, and especially if we know the villain's gonna take over, right? We ain't gonna argue time skip, no time skip, that shit don't matter. Regardless, there'll be a moment that Bakugo and Deku need to have a talk, especially after All Might's death. That shit's inevitable. I don't care which way you're sitting on it. They would actually have to have a couple conversations after that. And, you know, Downtown was like, I'm pretty like, why the fuck would we act some of this stuff? Why would we wait to the end of the series? And people are like, oh, now Ochiko got her moment. He rushing some dumbass shit. He rushing the plot again. Like, bro, y'all niggas complain about it taking so long for the payoff, but then you expect the payoff to be at the end of the fucking series. I'm trying to really comprehend how hypocritical.
People really complaining about this?
I'm trying to really like comprehend what the fuck really be wrong with y'all niggas. I've never seen anything so hypocritical and nonsensical in my life that contradicts itself back and forth. You niggas wanted Deku focus for the MC. Now you come back and then you be like, oh, the whole entire time, man, where the kids at? Where the kids at? Kids come back. Oh, I don't want the Deku arc to end. Like, nigga, didn't you just fucking ask for the kids at in their mental state?
I swear,
But,
people
like,
switched up.
Y'all switched. Oh,
people switched
God.
up. People switched up on Deku, but in reverse. They went from not liking him and not caring to loving him too much, and now they want to complain. Like, I don't understand. You were supposed to always like Deku.
So this is like,
I mean, it's going to go back to that. It's going to go back to that after he goes back to normal.
Yeah.
the issue.
He's not going back to normal.
When I say back to normal, I mean he's not going to be as edgy as he is right now.
So
I think he still is.
You think he's
thing
going to be
that-
the same amount of edgy? I don't think he is.
Yeah. Hold on. Because like I don't think it's completely fair to call him edgy either, though.
No, I'm
Yes,
not saying
right?
I'm not saying he is edgy, but I'm saying that's what people consider him now.
I mean, all
Well-
of this talking to him has to have an effect.
I don't care about those people. I'm talking about him.
No, I know. I'm saying that's the reason that people have switched up on him in the first place. They're like, oh my god, he's edgy now. I like him now.
Okay, time out.
Crazy
Tony,
how toxic masculinity makes
You don't get to complain
more
about a
attractive.
house blowing up and a dude with super strength and fire manipulation surviving it when Pell blew up. Okay, like stop, just stop.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
he's
y'all
seen-
niggas know
he-
Tony a
him
troll. You know
personally-
Tony is a troll. He ain't been here in a minute. Y'all forgot him. Y'all forgot Tony is a troll. That nigga ain't been here in months. Nigga been
Yeah.
silent.
I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna troll, you got to do better than that because Pell exists and you get the One Piece logo.
Yeah,
So
man.
like, it doesn't
But-
hurt.
Isn't the greatest troll the friends we bought along the way with Pell?
Bounty. Yeah, the Wheel of P, man. The Wheel of P. Bound, spell. That's the Wheel of P, man. That's something
Yeah,
real.
nigga,
One
that
Piece.
nigga's funny as hell.
That said,
You know Pell is the most narratively significant character in One Piece? They don't tell you that.
Hey, listen,
More
listen,
significant
listen.
than Roger himself.
Hey, listen,
Mhm.
we ain't gonna do that now. You know what I'm saying? Because you know it's gonna be some 1P nigga that get upset. All right, that's how I be watching. You watch fucking Brago and some other folks, and then some folks in they stream be talking some sideways shit about My Hero. So we ain't gonna turn it on people, all right?
Oh
No,
no!
no, I
this
think
week's
it's-
One Piece
Yeah.
chapter, great. I've had
I
so much
loved it.
fun. I've had so much fun with the amount of copium a certain subsect of the One Piece fandom has been dealing with this week.
just
Hey, yo,
know
but Nico
ZKK
Robin
means
was
something
pretty-
new now.
Hey, yo, but Nico was pretty cool though. I did like her action set piece,
And
especially with her new technique. That was pretty well.
the thing with Deku and Aaron that I want to address that the chat mentioned is that Aaron and Deku fall into the same category of characters that people called whiny, liked when they were visibly angry, and then don't realize that they don't have to have the emotional depth of a teaspoon in order to function as characters. But because they have the emotional depth of a teaspoon, Aaron was never allowed to be more than just a stoic Chad, which the irony of him being like a super Chad in people's eyes because he was just willing to be mean to everybody is kind of funny. And yeah, like
No,
Just
they
go and
just,
quote Harry Potter.
all these people that hated on Deku and Aaron, they only care about these characters at the end because of toxic masculinity. That's it. And then when
Right.
they were revealed to have actual emotional depth, they were like, "Why are you not angry all the time?" And that's why their mouth breathing nature couldn't allow them to like their character.
No,
on
I
just
think
a
we
certain
also
subset
have
of
to be
their thing.
fair and see that like the fandom is not a monolith. Not everybody in fandom has the same opinion, and it's perfectly reasonable that maybe some in the fandom didn't like Deku whiny, and others in the fandom didn't like him angry. And I think it is difficult for us for everybody just following the fandom to read all these different takes, and everybody is complaining all the time seemingly, and you just think Horikoshi can't make them happy. But maybe the people who were complaining when he was whiny are now very happy. On the other side, maybe the people who liked him from the start are now unhappy. It's perfectly reasonable. Like we're acting like they're all hypocrites because they say they were whiny and now they stopped being whiny. They are like, why isn't he whiny anymore? But they might not be the same people.
oh no. Some of these people are the same people. That's the thing that makes it.
Oh, they said it.
Hold on.
We got 4K.
Let's stop each other. Damn.
Cut that. Because going back to Astro Rocket, because I was about to address that shit too. Because I'm not letting y'all niggas slide. I'm not.
Who's Astro Rocket?
I'm not. He said something in the chat. I'm not talking about him, but I'm talking about niggas that they trying to give y'all like some leeway. I'm not letting that slide. Astro Rocket said these things generally aren't said by the same fans contradicting themselves. It's different factions of the fan base that have conflicting viewpoints. No, I've seen the same people that bitch and cry about 1A this whole entire time. Yo, I want to see their thing, this, that, and other. Then they get tired of it. Then they switch up like, oh, I like the Deku arc. Then the 1A shows up and you get to see them retrieving Deku and talk about like how they view post-war and stuff like that. People are like, well, I don't want him to go back to UA. I like the Deku. So I literally had people say the shit that they were like, oh, Deku gonna beat class 1A and he gonna leave. And then they admit, oh, I just really didn't want the Deku stuff to end. And that's the same thing that said, I want to see where the kids are at and what they're doing. So yes, it's not the whole, it's different fan bases or different factions. No, it's just, you got these niggas in 4K, because I'm not the only person that's seen it. It's people that contradict themselves constantly. Don't try to be like, coddle them and be like, oh, well, it's different people here. No, the same people be doing that shit and they stay doing that shit. So I'm not gonna let them slide off that shit. Just like, you've been caught. Like, stop. Like, own up to what you did. Like, oh, just be honest. That's half the time I always have an issue. Y'all niggas just be honest, then it really ain't no issue half the time. But y'all like to sugarcoat shit and hide behind agendas just so y'all can like see them a different way.
All
Yeah,
I'm
that's
saying
like
is a
generally,
certain
that's what I'm
part
saying.
of the fan base are mouth breathers.
I mean, sure, there are definitely people who just like to complain a lot.
Now, my thing is, if you have a complaint or criticism, that's cool. But stop the switch up or cap. That's the shit that be pissing me off. Like, just keep it a buck. Like when niggas say, oh, there's nothing actually wrong with Ochiko's screen time or character thing, because they're saying she got the same amount of development and screen time as Bako. I ain't see Bako get no fucking villain meathead one-on-one fight. But niggas don't bitch about Bako shit and stuff like that. But they damn sure got something to say about Ochiko. And all you gotta do is say, oh, I just want a real meathead fight from her. And then when they admit that, like, okay, that's no problem. But just don't bitch like, and just don't cap like, oh, she ain't got this, she ain't did that. I don't know what he gonna do with her. Like, Just keep it a buck, and then it ain't no issue. Like that's my entire thing. Honesty.
Who switch up remind me of those dudes who like every day is wearing a different baseball cap team or basketball team. Like you don't actually know who they're rooting for. Like 1 second they're wearing Bucks, next second they're wearing Astros. You're inconsistent is all I'm saying.
What's that one video? This man switches up every day, what? One day he's a Muslim, next day he's a Christian. That shit funny as hell.
You like, all my life, this dude switches it every day.
That shit funny, dog.
He switches his beliefs like a new pair of J's. It's crazy.
Yeah, back to the chapter real quick. Y'all see the way Deku was looking at Ochako as she was talking? See the love in his eyes?
Somebody said there was a heart on his freckles. I was trying to find it.
It's on.
Oh, wait a minute. I forgot to mention.
What page was it?
I forgot to mention something. What East.
That's my name.
Oh, I see it.
Apparently I saw that little thing that Alan posted that y'all talked about. Did you bring that up already?
What?
The thing about school briefs.
Yeah, we brought that up briefly, and we talked about how lived in the universe was.
Yeah,
but we can readdress it.
earlier.
We can readdress it because
about
not
it,
everybody that just read the viz, I'm pretty sure they didn't see it, which would be really impromptu.
Yeah, because apparently, there's a page where fucking Kaminari was talking about like his work in a mecha anime, and in the background you see like Kirishima and Tokiyami, and like showed you they're all looking at each other and pointing like, what this? Like you're like, wait, like there's something there, but they're like remembering. And then apparently in one of the translator notes, I don't know what the fuck that came from. It references that something that during one of the school brief chapters, they fell into some like different part of like the school, like fell down into some like different part of the school they didn't know about, which is talking about those little like layers.
Yeah, because Nezu was building this since the cultural festival.
Yeah,
that's why you can see the that's why because in context, like that's why you see like Kaminari's reaction makes sense, but you see like the realization that's on Shoji's and Kirishima and Tokiyami's face. I didn't peep like that until like somebody pointed out, and the scan is like, "Yo, this shit is from."
It was them.
They had went on that adventure.
So I guess like school briefs actually do mean shit slightly.
It's crazy.
Okay, so my question is, when did they build this this UA barrier with all of its mechanisms?
They've been working on
because I believe like they were working on it ever since
USJ.
Like well, I was gonna say sports festival, but yeah, I guess
I mean that's the same time frame after USJ.
Yeah, they had to double up.
So they've had about a year. So they've had they've had like maybe 9 months to build this.
No, I think you're right the first time, about a year.
About a year?
Mm-hmm.
Well, how far is but what month does sports festival take place in?
It took place in May, so it's been like 11 months.
Okay, so yeah, it's 11 months. Okay.
Yeah, they've been doing that.
I mean, they built quick. That's.
I mean, they have it.
So I guess.
They have advanced technology. So
yeah,
I mean, I'm not surprised that construction was extremely. I'm not surprised construction is pretty quick, considering with increased technology, you do have higher rates of production. But this is one thing from the scans I found pretty funny. In the scans, they changed the dialogue to where it said that, wow, that's got to be more than 1 billion yen. And so when you typically hear more, like it's not really like a drastic amount. Like you think of like maybe like in the range of 5 or 10 million more. But it's like, for some reason, I was questioning like, how was he able to do this with like $10 million?
Yeah, but the thing is,
national like network of routes and that whole fortification, it was hilarious.
But whatever the actual cost is, and I do think that even in this official translation, hundreds of millions is probably lowballing it. It's probably in the hundreds. It's probably in the billions. But the thing is, Denki says it, and what does Denki know about money? I mean, let imagine you're 15, 16 years old, and somebody tells you that you just that they just rebuilt the entire underground. Of course, you're gonna throw out some high number, but he's not making an estimated guess. He's just throwing out a big number.
I just found that estimate funny.
Hold on. Welcome to the congregation, Thomas.
Ah, my prince. Welcome,
bro.
Another official member joins. You get access to the emotes.
And
special
Cameron.
shout outs.
All right, Cameron, to answer your hold on, Tony. Oh, Tony has a super chat
with the super chat saying he wasn't trying to troll, nothing but love. All right,
Tony. So as you offered a super chat, and clearly we were off the mark about you. We'll run our dues and respect back. If you have a question you'd like to ask or topic you'd like us to discuss or criticism, then we'll address it. So if you like that, you don't need another super chat. Just type it in and I'll read it out. But who was last talking so we can continue the conversation?
We're talking about Denki's money.
Oh yeah,
money
so
Denki doesn't understand money.
I mean,
no.
Speaking of money, KG, no, Ocho ain't no damn middle class. She broke his shit. You know that girl went to sleep to fight hunger.
Middle class people don't sleep to beat hunger.
Yeah,
that's
not how it works.
So middle class at that point.
Only way you middle class and you sleep to beat hunger is if you in a black household and they still ghetto and they tell your ass to sleep.
If I remember correctly, her father or her parents both have a business.
Yeah,
but they don't make much money with that. So I think it depends on like there are people who own a business and call themselves middle class, even if asset wise they wouldn't. Like there's a lot of pride in people. You don't want to be lower class, so there's a lot of pride in people that just call themselves middle class because they have a middle class business.
It's funny you say that, Sayas, because I was recently looking into self-identification of social classes. As far as wealth goes in America.
Only honesty will be doing that. I promise you, this the only nigga. Him and Squid be the only niggas on the side doing that shit. God knows what reason, but continue, boss.
And I love geopolitics.
Effectively, one of the things that I found fascinating is that there are people who make $215K. They make more than $200,000 a year, and they consider themselves lower class.
What?
Lower class.
It's not a lot of them.
Where do they live in West Hollywood?
It's not a lot of them, but the fact that there are people who make $200,000 and are like, I think I'm broke. Just goes to show that,
I mean, the thing is, you can only buy one house and then you're programmed.
In 10 months, they have more than 20,000 euros the month, bro.
So that means they would have to be in like somewhere in like the most expensive part of New York or like West Hollywood or some shit like that for that to be broke.
Let me put it to you
it
this
depends.
way.
Maybe if they have a lot of debt somewhere.
Because because we ran into this on like discussing finances, because I don't know if you guys remember Broke Bobby was trending earlier this week. And when topics like that trend, I'm usually actually in there looking at the financial discussions and stuff and the way people are arguing about stuff. And somebody was like, well, actually being like 100K plus isn't a lot in New York. I have to have a roommate. I have 2 roommates for my apartment. That's like 3K. And then we were like, but if it's 3K a month and you make 100,000 a year, you can afford that. You don't actually need roommates.
I mean, to be fair, they could be talking about before they get taxed. I mean, they don't need roommates because my friends make that money. But like it's like when it comes to people living in New York, one of my friends, she actually does make around that much money. The problem is, you are still hella struggling with that type of money in New York.
Yeah, I mean, if you make 100,000 and you pay taxes and all insurances, then you end up with 50,000. And if then you pay 5,000 rent or 3,000 rent, it's.
I wouldn't put the money aside real quick. We have a super chat.
I'm gonna address the super chat, then I'll address the way taxing is done and why that's not the case.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's 50,000. That's a little much.
That's with all the insurances.
Hold on. So Thomas, real quick, came through, said, I can't believe I never joined before. I'm also sending this to tell people to make Ponzu proud and share the stream to show this stream and the church some love. Everyone. Thank you, Thomas. Appreciate it. Okay, so real quick,
shout out, Thomas.
Because of the way tax codes work, your taxes likely wouldn't, like even if you make 100K, you don't actually spend like 25. Like at most, you're only going to be spending like 25 to 30,000 in taxes, and that's like on the high end, because the way taxes work is they go active as you hit certain income thresholds.
Yeah.
So you get overtaxed in the beginning of the year, and then you can potentially be getting technically undertaxed if you slightly break into another like class or financial bracket, but it won't matter because the overpaying from earlier in the year will offset that being behind. So
yeah, sure. But that's why I included like insurance. Like if you also have like good health insurance, pay into retirement funds, I know with other insurances, car insurances, everything kind of comes together.
I mean, at that point, you could, if you lump in electricity, you can lump in electricity and stuff too, and that's still not gonna. You're still gonna come out with more than most people, so you still don't need that. But also,
sure, I wouldn't.
You
the
would
thing is,
choosing the most expensive, and
right?
That's why you don't get to complain that you're broke when you actively chose.
I wouldn't call myself lower class if I like get the best apartment out there.
Oh no, because you chose. Well, it's not the best apartment out there in New York. That's just a standard. But I'm saying, but the problem is, you chose to live. You have the choice to live in New York. That's the reason I couldn't really feel bad for you, but because you could move, you can afford to move.
Mm-hmm. And what Toga being in UA is one of those things. See, answering the chat to get us back on track.
I think we saw. I think she's in this chapter. Like, there's a civilian during her speech when they said that he left UA, who's looking like, it could be the typical angry dumbass civilian, but.
Oh, you think it's Toga?
It might be. She could be anybody. She could be anybody in the trap.
Which one do you think it is? Hold on. Which one do you think it is?
All right. So on page 14, where she said he left and went through who knows what out there.
Oh, talking about that grumpy ass looking old dude.
Yeah. It's really just a crackpot theory, because really she could be, and she got mentioned in this chapter too. It was a panel of her. Like, it could be to remind us that she exists.
Oh, you mean that nigga with the umbrella?
Yeah, but she could be anybody. Like, remember how she was that old lady during the war randomly, and she finessed Ochako? Like, she really could just be a random civilian.
You're not
scared.
You're not incorrect, but the only reason I really wouldn't think that that's her is because this is a stupid reason, and I'm probably completely wrong, but because it's too zoomed out on him.
Like you saying, there's just like not enough emphasis. Like, there's just enough emphasis to be like, this is a general shot, but it doesn't feel like a.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like this is anybody who matters because it's not zoomed in enough on him. It's just like, hey, it's a zoomed out shot with the nigga. You can see his face, but it's like kind of detailed face.
I'm just on guard because Toga got mentioned this chapter about the swap out with KB and the danger sense going off for everybody.
And
nobody.
I still love that.
Nobody's prepared for a twist with Toga. I'm prepared.
The only thing about it is something I have to say about that.
He's saying everybody's Toga. He's trying to prepare himself to get to
He's Toga. I'm Toga. Is there any more Togas?
They're all Toga.
They're Toga.
No, I was going to.
I miss Toga. I miss her. I'm eating.
I thought about something. I'm kind of confused. I'm aware that it's going to have to happen, but I'm very curious how that's going to work with Shigaraki coming back. Because imagine this. Imagine if they convince Deku, yeah, you got to come back. You're better off being with us. And then fucking Shigaraki comes in and fucks the whole place up. I don't know. Like, and it just says, see, I was right. I should have came back. And I'm like, I don't know. Well, how are they gonna justify that?
It's gonna come up. It's gonna come up at some point. Deku's gonna have a relapse at some point. He's gonna have a relapse into this mindset. Like, I told you guys, look, and then
he runs away.
So you think he's going to? So you think he will be justified?
Like,
well, that's how he'll explain his rationale.
No, I'm not saying necessarily he would be justified, but I'm saying you think the story will give him a reason to feel like, see, I shouldn't have listened to you motherfuckers. I was right.
Well, that would be kind of petty on his part because ultimately coming with them was for the best, because if he was alone, he probably would be dead by now, like Gina said. Well, so it's like, yeah, you were right, but it was a better way for this to go down.
I mean, no, you're not wrong that he probably would be dead, but the thing about that is that it doesn't matter to him. Well, so he would still feel justified.
Yeah, catch me back up real quick because I only get about 70%.
I said that I feel like I know this is going to have to happen, but the way it's going to have to happen is going to be interesting and like different than I'm expecting, because otherwise it'll seem as if that Shigaraki is going to wake his ass up, fuck the place up, and be like, and Deku will just be like, I told y'all I should have came back to this bitch. So I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So I'm like, are they gonna like? I can't because I'm trying to imagine a way where that doesn't happen.
Let me well, I got you on this one.
Uh-huh.
So basically, he would have an argument, but at the same time, this is how it kind of works. That's a selfish thought. Once again, you're putting everything on yourself because you think you're the cream of the crop. You're the only thing that matters. Once again, step outside that, bro. You think they were only going to attack UA because you were fucking there? They aim to destroy the entire Japan. Basically, get your head out your ass. Just because you were there doesn't mean anything. All for one of them are taking over Japan. You being there, UA or not, don't make that much of a difference to them. And like in the sense, like, if they're going to attack it or not. You think I'm going to attack an entire country and be like, well, Deku's not there, so I'm just going to leave the school alone with all the heroes, that can come back and fight me. I'm aiming to take over the country. No, get your head out. Deku would I'd be like, Deku, get your head out your ass, cuz they're going to attack the shit regardless. We stood a better chance. We probably save more fucking lives with you actually getting some rest and putting up a fight and staying alive and living the fight another day. That's just something they're going to learn soon enough when that awakening call comes and the king open his eyes and start fucking everything up. Sometimes you just got to live to fight another day, bro. You're just going to have to take L's. That's just part of life.
Deku was going to reach his limits eventually. He passed out.
Shigaraki is going to put that perspective in check. There are some things you just can't fucking do. Like, bro, it's not just gonna be Shigaraki. It's gonna be plenty of other villains and other things. And then he gonna be trying to place the blame on himself. Like, no, I'm so cursed, this, that, and other. Like, no, get your head out your fucking ass, bro. You being so self-centered. It's not just about you. They're going to attack Japan regardless. Don't matter. They're gonna attack UA regardless. Don't matter if you're there or not. That's simple. It's like that's the way to put it into perspective. Like, knock sense into that nigga. Like, bro, you just being selfish and thinking everything about yourself. Like, I understand, but like I said, they taking over Japan. Why the fuck would they just leave UA standing? I would just leave it for another day. What type of fucking villain? Hello?
Fair enough.
Oh, we got a super chat. Is the boss
All right.
gonna answer? Or shall I?
I got you. I was just letting y'all talk. Get y'all piece up. Terrence Bernard coming through. Even if Shigaraki want to jump AFO sitting in his chef's hat, tasting the scene and saying, nope, not enough chaos. That's
This is
true,
gonna be
actually.
like having like he got like a spoon. He's like whipping up some good soup. And he like sips it. Nah, we gotta destroy some more. And then like puts even more spice in, starts mixing it.
So the thing for me is that by Deku being like in this safe position, what it really does is incentivize AFO to be like, well, fuck that mental shit and just go and just screw over whoever he wants, do whatever he wants, because who's going to check him right now?
Exactly. That's the thing. That's an interesting thing about this is people don't understand. Like a lot of y'all still don't get what the telegraph course of action is going to be, which is beyond me. But let's reestablish this. All for One is going to play his part as a villain while Shigaraki is sleeping currently. All right. He's going to have his fun, do his thing, flex a little bit. Now, after that, Shigaraki will open his eyes eventually. And what will proceed to follow is his conquest in the final payoff. And no more y'all dodging and speculating. It's gonna be hell to pay inside that universe and outside that was capping.
Wakes up. Oh my
God. I don't think y'all truly comprehend the fact that
I was just watching the last episode, the voice acting. I was just picturing the way the way he's moving.
What are you talking about?
Shigaraki.
Yeah, so listen, after this, Shigaraki's going to kill All Might, All for One, and take everything else over, along with and reunite all the people and all the scattered villains, this, that, and the other. Beating Deku ass, and he's going to control everything. That's telegraph and fucking up any hero that's standing in his way, like killing those niggas. That's telegraph. That's like nothing that's like a secrecy. It's just how it's going to be executed. There's nothing to speculate there. Like, it's pretty obvious.
Look, all I gotta say is right now, AFO is the top dog. Okay, he's Shaq playing in Little League. What are these guys gonna do? Nothing. He's gonna run through him.
Listen. You know how Endeavor became number one because All Might retired. That's like what's happening right now with All for One. Shigaraki is sleeping right now. He's enabled, and All for One got leveled up.
Yeah, I'm ignoring Tony because I don't want to go off on that tangent right there. I don't even want
This is a very stupid thing. This might be very stupid for me to say this, but I thought about something just now.
What?
What is it?
Hold on, we got super chat from Nader. Was that addressed?
I swear you already. I thought you already. I thought you already did.
Oh wait.
I don't remember.
Oh yeah, any of y'all catch the Theory YouTube channel panel is what Nader said, and yeah, that.
What the hell is that?
Because if you look, there's the phone.
Are you talking about the Nomu?
Oh yeah, I saw that. He's talking about like what is all for one and one for all. Or UA students a target for the villains.
Hey yo, this dude is rocking an old Android, bro. Hey yo, this ain't 2017. It's crazy. I got a new phone. I got that Galaxy S21.
Oh, okay. You randomly brought up Rappa.
Why are you flexing like that? Squid.
One of the things.
I just noticed the design of the phone.
One of the things that I always think people need to remember, because a lot of people think that Night Eye one-shotting the Rappa clone is just because it was a clone. But y'all gotta realize he did the equivalent of throwing a 30-pound dumbbell into that dude's chest and lifted him off the floor. I think
casually.
Like
the real Rappa would have got back up, but that clone took that damn. The real Rappa just took damage from that.
The real Rappa would have been sitting there like, hold up, what was that?
I'm feeling like this.
What was I going to say? I was going to say, fucking, this might be stupid as fuck for me to say this, but I'm curious about something. Everybody who keeps thinking that All for One really wants to just take over fucking Shigaraki. Is there a reason why he didn't just like try to take his decay?
No, I have a better question in my opinion. Ujiko specifically said we stopped further modification because he didn't like want his mind to be compromised. But if he was just gonna be a vessel, why not just say, "Hey, dog, you don't need this intelligence. What are you doing?" And then
oh yeah, that's a good point.
And then just give him All Might level modification in strength.
Listen,
because that wasn't a limit of the augmentation. The limit of the augmentation was making him as strong as possible, but allowing him to keep his mind.
Let me address something like this.
Bad idea.
I'm gonna put it like this. Because even I can track with more details and the theory I hate than you dumbass niggas with this fucking theory that they just make up shit because you've seen it done somewhere else. The only logical explanation you have, like, oh, well, maybe, because he doesn't have enough hatred and he needs more hatred to seal it. Let me tell you something. If this nigga wanted his body as a plot twist, oh my gosh, he would have fucking waited to do it, not set it up, dumbass. Like, what type of, like, I swear to God, y'all don't think, or y'all don't just observe who you be reading.
Who telegraphs a plot twist like that?
Like that's what I'm trying to fucking say. Like, bro, are you like retarded?
He has people talking really about it in universe, saying people in universe literally say, "Oh, that might be his plan. Oh, that has to be."
Yeah, that like has to be like no, bro. Like no, he literally already said. Like that's what I think. I swear to God, when people get an agenda or they just get so scared about something, they tend to forget. You can literally refresh your memory by going back to a certain chapter that has the context of this thing or set up, and you can just reconfirm. What the hell did he say? Like, I can tell you, All Might, why I got a successor, but you wouldn't believe me. Guess who he was talking to? All y'all slow ass niggas. That's what he did. Tell him why I had a successor. Now you just evil. Everybody else, he just evil. He want that nigga body. I already told you why the fuck I did it, but you don't gotta believe me because you never don't fucking matter. I said what I said.
Brother, I will tell you something.
AFO really be a king out here. He got that grind set. He embraces the grind set.
Damn, bro. Damn. So, East, you know what? When people read chapters and they have an idea in mind, like they have the agendas, they just pick the element that fit in that agenda. That's something that I
half these questions about the story, you know what makes them funny? They like
get rid of 30 times, but they want to see the things that are like written in black on white because they just think about their agendas. That's the thing. That's how dumb people.
And the agendas don't even get past text evidence. Like seriously, if you put this on like a a school essay for like middle school, for like Huckleberry Finn or something, bro, you would get like F easily. D- if the teacher really felt sorry for your bum ass.
It'd be like, character A says this. Nah, that's not his intentions. This is what he really planning. What the fuck? Didn't I just say what the fuck? Like,
wait, pause. Can we just say? I just want to say the real victim of this chapter is Inko Midoriya.
Yeah, but she gone. It's okay.
This crowd of people yell at her son to not let him take a bath.
No, that nigga stink, but oh my god.
Like, you know how many years she spent trying to teach her son to bath regularly, and now the whole world is against it.
You see life is not his feet, his claws, his dirt. He's covered in blood, dirt.
Oh god! All right, Tony, you just lost it, bro. You lost our respect. You did that thing, bro. You brought it up. I see everything now. It all makes sense.
Nah, don't even acknowledge it.
This all makes sense now. You done, bro.
He should have pulled that. He should have pulled that out so early.
It all makes sense. No excuses no more. It all makes sense now. You did that, so it all makes sense now. Everything makes sense.
Man, you really about to get canceled. That's crazy.
It's already. It's done. We done now. You did it. You shot yourself in the foot with that one, bro.
You played yourself.
Yeah, you played yourself. Congratulations.
Yeah, but JJ said, when is Inko gonna reveal Deku to his real father? Yo, Hisashi is definitely not there. Hisashi is not there at all. So I need everybody to stop talking about him because he would have stepped up by now.
What if Deku's dad was the friends we made along the way?
Seriously, the one thing with MHA is that I've never been so annoyed with talk about the main character's father. Like, in so many shows, the main character's father is so important, where even when he's not really in the story, we all expect him to be there. With Deku, it's just, let's just stop talking about it.
Yo, wow, say this, baby. You know what? I swear to God, it's only MHA. I ain't see nobody talk about nobody else parents in this damn thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. In One Piece, but everybody knows his father is important, but here, still right, we are at chapter more than 300, bro. We never saw.
Why can't Deku's dad just be allowed to be a bum? You know, I feel like this is very discriminatory.
He's not a bum. I mean,
bum parents.
Outside country for his family to be in the right situation, man. Damn.
Nah, that man a bum.
Yeah,
the thing is weird because Inko is like
she's
a good person.
Doing nothing. Literally shopping, having her life, and she bought all this merch stuff for her kid. Literally.
Bro, we could have got it off of Walmart and it was outsourced, so it was like $5 cheaper, bro.
Nah, you know how expensive all my stuff is.
Bro, listen.
Man, no, stop. Squid, you're the only nigga that I can accept joking about this because you're the ones researching all about the social economic of my work.
Dang, so I can't play around. That's crazy.
Okay,
I get you.
You're the only one who can do that because I don't know how many hours you spend on that shit. No, bro.
Okay. All right. You're right. You take me on that one.
All right.
Come on, get in my face.
Hey, yo, boss, you got a super chat. You stepping in or I'm handling it? All right, boss, not here. I'll handle the super chat myself. Oh, well. One of our regulars. We have a super chat from the fantastic Andrew Lolivar. At work, so you can't can't listen. Just want to say whoever at Bones Toe host or Racer decide to mess with my boy Spinner, I'm gonna need to go.
Talk to these niggas.
Hey man, listen. Like I said, CRC, Yamashita, the first meeting you got. But hey,
hold on, East, real quick. I gotta stop you. I gotta troll you a little bit and let you know that it's Miyashita.
Okay, Miyashita.
Yeah, you can't catch on his name, I gotta say his name right.
I gotta put respect on dead Lokes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He said I wasn't getting into no cult shit, and he got snuffed out. It's a shame.
Low-key, that is what happened. He was like, "This looks like cult activity. No thanks."
Well, I would have been like, "Damn, this shit is really." Anybody listen, y'all, for y'all's safety. If anybody brings that to you, and you in a room alone with them, Just go along with it at first, and then you get the fuck out of there, okay?
Yeah, but
You
the
play
thing is,
along.
okay,
Don't give your real opinion that this nigga is a psycho because you don't say to a creepy or a killer like you think a nigga is a killer. You don't say it out loud like, hey bro, that's some
That's
sketchy
very
activity.
interesting. I gotta go to the toilet
Man,
though.
man, that blood on
Oh,
your shirt
you're a
is very
killer.
interesting. Whoa, that's crazy.
Also,
Like,
did you guys
whoa.
talk about Andrew Lalabar's super chat?
Yeah, I already handled it.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay,
you already
okay,
know
okay.
who it, you already know who it is.
But okay, here's why I think like what made the like Miyashita situation so tragic is that like Rukia is his employer, and typically you're given pretty much any employment. You have to give an address.
Oh,
So it's like he knows where he lives. Chances are he already knew that his relatives, that like he didn't have anyone of real contact, and it's like
there's something else.
Miyashita was put in a bad situation though.
There's something
Be
else
my
in
dog.
Redestro's character in that scene that's another commentary that I forgot, but it's also a commentary on like Japanese work culture. Because basically, who here has watched Black Lagoon?
Yeah, I watched Black Lagoon.
Okay, so you remember when Rock said, don't underestimate the drinking tolerance of a Japanese businessman?
Yes.
The whole reason behind that is that, and it's not as bad for the women because there's at least sexual harassment barriers like that you can get into, but if you're a dude, you can basically be forced to go out to the bars with your boss every night for like an indefinite amount of time, where he basically like, well, because you're a part of the team and you like team building, you're gonna go to the bar with me, right, Jerry? And it's like, and then they force you to get ridiculously drunk, will have you up till 2 a.m. and then you got to be at work at like 7, 8 a.m. And
2 a.m. is such an American time.
Wait, what did I just walk back into?
And they'll expect you to be at work till like 8 p.m. that night and do it again the next day. So like Redestro feeling like ultimately like as his boss, he had that much control over his life. And, you know, he was like, well, if you weren't going to join the cult directly, we could have still come up to another conclusion. Like that like level of entitlement and encroachment onto his subordinate's life is a reflection of like the genuine way that like the boss will just take control of your life from you as a corporate person and expect your nights, mornings, etc. to be just built upon those whims.
What did I just walk back into? What's the topic here?
Maybe explaining work
culture and Japanese work culture and how it'll like control your life until you die, karoshi.
Oh yeah.
And then like how Redestro kind of reflects that, where it's like, well, since you've been working for me at my company, you clearly want to work for me in my cult too. What? You don't want to do that? I guess you're fired. But now you know about the cult, so you got to die too. Like,
well, actually, oh yeah, about that.
Hey, yo, free my dog.
I didn't get to
he
ask.
didn't do anything though,
bro. I was gonna ask that actually. So we see in the preview for the next episode, they're actually going to go back to that. Do you think they're going to show the Miyashita shit, or do you think they're going to skip that?
I'm gonna skip that.
I don't think they're going to skip it, because the thing they show a screenshot of what happens immediately after that. So that doesn't that'd be a little odd for me. That'd be a little odd for you to just say, "Hey, we're gonna just skip the complete."
You know what else?
Wait,
whoa! You know what else they did? They skipped the league talking in the house before Makia came.
Oh yeah, but I mean they're doing the chapters. That I mean the structure is weird, but it seems like they're going back to those chapters. It doesn't make any sense. That's what it does. That's what they're doing next week. That's what they're doing next week with the fucking.
Oh,
they're doing that to introduce Redestro and the Liberation Army.
Shout out to Spectral Dynamite, knowing about black companies. That's the shit we talking about. I like when people know about the random shit I reference. Okay, it warms my heart.
Fair.
But yeah, it seems like we're gonna get some of that 219 stuff. It's just weird that
Oh yeah, you know, I think I think a lot of this shit is like wild, but I'm saying that that they're at least gonna show the Miyashita shit, because otherwise it would just be you would literally just cut in him putting his finger to his forehead. That wouldn't make any sense. There would literally be no context. You wouldn't know who the fuck this nigga is. So they have to show it. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so here's my
idea. But that is no
right?
problem though. But they still cut content from NBA, like they cut CRC.
Hold on, I have an idea. I have an idea. So like the Miyashita scene starts, right? And you know, you got the dialogue that's regular. And then he's like, and then Redestro grabs him, kind of like how you put your arm on like a dude's neck, and then you go, and then you pan down, you hear the dialogue, and then you hear him snap it. And then we see the end of and then we go to the new scene.
Look, CRC. I wanted to see CRC, man.
Of course, me too.
So here's my thing. Hold on.
Okay.
So because of the way this season has executed like flashback sequences, and because of the restructuring of like the narrative, where it seems that this first episode of MVA, they wanted to pull us in and they wanted people to at least be invested in the action. It's important that people have like at least some frame of conflict to be invested in, because if you don't already like the League of Villains, like many people didn't, like most people, I would say like a good 50% at least of the fandom probably didn't warm up to Shigaraki until the day he took Overhaul's arms.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
I mean, a nigga like me was way ahead of the curve, but yeah. Some
you have some people that are like, okay, like I'm noticing these parallels and stuff. And like for me, it was like I was noticing the parallels and I was like, okay, so there has to be a payoff one day. And then Shigaraki took them arms and I was like,
I like Shigaraki the day he stepped out Kurogiri's portal. That paid friend.
Oh, so I think for some of those people, it was like, all right, well, you finally did some. And so like the idea of watching him fight Makia, and they're like, oh, we're gonna watch him fight Makia. Oh, we're gonna see Shigaraki go to war. Okay, so Shigaraki's actually gonna have to fight people now. And it's sad, but like for some people, like they need to know that like Shigaraki's gonna be in danger, because at the very least they'll be like, all right, at least I'll get to see him get his ass kicked, maybe. Blah blah blah. So like, there's some people who will hate watch it. There's some people who watch it because they're just genuinely curious. And some like the people who just like My Hero are gonna watch it because they, in theory, like My Hero. Like that in theory, like season 5 has left me with some questions on whether or not My Hero fans like My Hero. But
I have a question.
Talking to you, Bonnie.
I do understand that there are those limitations.
Damn, him too, East.
But no. I just had
I mean, like BG, like he said, so I heard that.
Okay, so my whole thing was, yes, they do need a conflict for that initial episode, but can that not be done by extending the CRC scene?
No.
Yeah,
because they're specifically going to be crushed in that moment. And it kind of is there to emphasize that the League is a threat. They can take on other gangs easily. Like if you're a gang, you try to fight the League at this point, and it's like a head up 1-on-1, there's a good chance they can fold you. Because they didn't even have Dabi at the CRC fight.
I wonder why.
They only bring out Dabi for the big events.
Right.
I love the voice acting in the episode, the way he was like, Doctor, where's Dabi? He pulling up.
I just wanted to say something. Like somebody come on, it's something great. Salome said there is no racism in Basing Se. That's the whole feeling of this.
So yeah.
Oh, bro.
Oh yeah, no, I haven't seen the episode. I don't know, but
so because my thing was, this is what threw me off, and I said this on Twitter. The episode was actually fine. It's just knowing what was missing that made it a problem.
Yeah, I was saying that earlier. I agree with that because it's a good episode. Like one thing about the episode I really like is that the episode does a great job of pushing Shigaraki.
Like it brings to the surface the questions a lot of people have about him. And so it's like, to a certain degree, the CRC and that other stuff conflict is important. But I think the reason why, and like even so, it could even pop back up now, like with a bit of a flashback. Because I think one of the things that they could do if they wanted to is have a cutback to the CRC while Spinner is arguing with Hanabata. And that way, like we can still touch on that topic of the CRC, but moreover, when he's directly been called a gecko, and once again, having somebody bring up like mutant stuff and then like have a flashback to some of the mutant discrimination they encountered just before this. And then what that would do is it puts Spinner like having a flashback plus like a narrative into his like conflict with Hanabata and makes that feel more emotional. Where just like how Toga has her emotional scenes and how Twice has his emotional scenes. And so it'll give Spinner that like extra emotional scene while tying it to an action sequence so that people can't do like Adam did and say that the Spinner scenes weren't worth anything.
I mean,
Well,
from what
you
I-
doing
I mean,
here?
super
chat. We got
What you
Wait a minute,
doing
wait a minute.
here,
You're pointing
boy?
out. Oh,
Yeah,
he said
super chat.
he referenced Adam. Oh my god.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was going to say fucking fuck. No, I forgot.
We got
All
super
right.
chat, so we need to read that.
Yeah. The people who, so Nader coming through, the people who complain about UA's plans are the same kind of people that would complain anyways if there was no plan. Do they not realize the irony that they're acting like the civilians in the manga? You.
Hey man, listen, on God, because when niggas be complaining about shit, I say, hey, so you come up with a better reason or a better way you would have did this. And niggas don't ever have one when they be talking to MHA. They just be talking about their ass. At least have something. You gonna be bitching and crying all damn time.
Look, man, all I gotta say about Spinner is what you doing here, boy? We don't serve lizards around here.
What the hell was that voice?
That
I don't
there was
know.
him impersonating Spinner's neighbors.
I don't know what the fuck wrong with that
He
name.
was trying to sound like one of
When
my.
I hear y'all from the north trying to sound southern, it's hilarious.
It's
Man,
just one of those
sometimes
things.
Southern
We
people
don't.
say that,
We
and I'm
don't.
like,
We
I'm
don't let
worried that
them.
Southern people really don't know what they sound like.
No, no. I'm not saying they don't sound like the way you are trying. I'm saying you're not hitting it yet.
All right, then.
Yeah, I'm not saying you're incorrect.
All
I'm
right, then
saying
do it
you're doing
correctly.
it terribly.
Show us how to do it correctly. Okay.
Well, I don't really understand what y'all are really trying to get me to do right here, but there is a bit of a misunderstanding about how we apparently sound. I mean, like there's got to be you got to put a lot of emphasis in a lot of our words. Like you're doing a lot of no, that's not how we sound. We sound more like a
Mumbling.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah, bumble like a right bumbling idiot. No, you understand? That's what I'm trying to say.
I don't know if I should feel offended.
Walkins, you don't sound like that either. I don't sound like that.
But I can. Here's the thing though. Like you got a bunch of different kind of sounds. You know, you have the ones that you sound like a good old cowpoke. Then there, you know, the more south you go, it starts getting a little more, you know, like I got some molasses in your mouth and you gotta start mumbling and some words don't come out, and you know, you use other words like, you know, anecdote or, you know, asinine, like, oh, her face is a 2, but her ass is a 9. You know, you start using other words like that.
Nigga said her face is 2, but her ass is a 9.
Oh my god.
Nah, man, it's different. I mean, for city folk over here in ATL, we don't fucking speak. You ever heard that real ATLian fucking speak, dog? You wouldn't know half the fucking shit that came out their mouth because they don't finish
need
their
to. I
sentences,
listen,
bro.
I don't need to. I read Goff's tweets.
Yeah, you know that nigga from where I'm from. Listen, like, 'cause if you really get somebody from like my city that actually speak, like, bro, if I speak right now, I want to see how many of y'all caught what the fuck I say. All right. Goddamn, boy, I was ready to chat while I was in motherfucking C, boy. I was flying the motherfucking 12, boy. That shit is crazy, boy. I about to raise on these boy, her crazy, boy. That nigga, if he eat every motherfucking week, boy. That motherfucker give me chatting. So if I clip my double Samurai receipts, boy, I got all the screenshots 4K, boy. Fuck me, gonna hold you, boy. When I pull up with these boy, they ain't gonna be ready for that shit, boy. They be pulling it back. Oh shit, I wasn't say that shit, but see, boy, you did say that shit. Better believe, boy, I'm be on your ass again. So how many of y'all caught what I actually just said?
A lot of curse words.
You said something about you called somebody in 4K. And
you caught somebody in 4K, almost fell off the seat because of how fast they was whipping.
Horikoshi got you every week.
See, you see how I said all that, and they only caught like 6 of the things I said between 6 different people.
Hey,
Them niggas in England, them niggas in ATL don't finish they fucking.
The thing I really laughed about this
don't
is that
finish.
the
You not
only
finish
thing
your
easily
sentence, man.
understandable
It's
were
weird.
the insults and the curse words in this. Other than that, I didn't understand anything. The host
Exactly.
gave
No, I
through
understood a
lines.
lot of what he said. I don't understand what he was trying to say though. That's why I'm like, I don't understand what you were getting at.
Basically, the insinuation was that when I read this chapter on the toilet, I damn near flew out my seat. Coco should be feeding me every week while I collect these W's and get these receipts. And when I come back and it's time for niggas to pay their dues, they cry as I didn't lose.
That was boring.
I mean, that's
essentially the thing I was getting at.
Yeah, he didn't say it like that.
The bunch more curse words.
Yeah.
But I had to simplify it. I was trying to tell you how ATL nigga talk.
What do you gotta let it? That's how my uncle be dog. I had some uncles I told I did. And my girl said that and how they taught me Mississippi. But my uncle's Mississippi, but it was all missing so many teeth.
I know that nigga missing his teeth.
I understand that better than East, I gotta say.
And so they'll be talking like that. You can hear the little every time they say something, because the air ain't flowing exactly how it normally flows in my mouth. But sometimes they start talking real fast. When talk about going down the street, get city page, they need some cup of smokes and a little bit of liquor.
Bro, you try to rap against rules. You gotta.
What the hell?
It's a dry
I
count.
understand you much better than I understand East. Much
I
better.
did until he started going real fast.
There's a dry count, so they ain't got no liquor over here. You gotta go. They only get you a cup of beer. You want beer?
Yeah.
Cup of beer.
Beer.
Yeah,
I'm getting flashbacks to country stores right now.
Oh, yeah, not no tall boy. Sit there and drink your beer. Got the game on. And, with the lady in the back, the old lady mad at you yelling because of the game, but the touchdown, the call bad. They don't even know how they do it. The coach don't make no decision. They gotta have me on that field because they don't be doing it. They don't have the code. They keep in nothing.
Crazy
Well, I
like
tell
the
you
nigga
what.
ain't got no teeth.
Yeah.
You can tell that nigga talk ain't got no teeth.
Experience doing
That nigga ain't got no teeth.
Yeah, you probably. I wouldn't like to. I can
Talking like my dang uncle, but
Also-
way faster.
Also, shout out to the chat for being like,
God.
damn, these niggas weird. Like,
Bro, this is how different regions talk. It's like this is welcome to dialects.
I
Like,
love regional dialects. I love it.
just
Yeah, I do love it. That's why I'm glad I don't talk like that, even though I live in this region.
Also,
I've heard a
I just
Baltimore
can't.
accent. Like there
I
are
just can't.
entire sentences that just sound the
Oh,
same.
Balmer? Balmer accent?
Balmer.
Baltimore. No, I
He
said
Bal-
Baltimore.
Nah, he said it right.
No, Balmer.
Walk is right. He talking about that.
Balmer.
Yeah, from Balmer.
Or they say water instead of water.
Okay, that's north. That's not a Baltimore thing. That's
No.
north.
No,
That's the north.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Midwest thing that I hate, people that say wash. Got to
Yeah,
wash.
gotta wash my clothes with.
Wash your ass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I heard that too. I know that.
What for
Worship.
wash?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wash.
it's like wash water.
Hey,
Thought it was
somebody-
something horse.
No.
I need somebody to go through and just like clip
Water,
different, like give me somebody send me a church montage of all of us doing the different accents today. Like somebody do
They can
that.
clip it. They can clip it. You know
It
that.
was about like 95 minutes into the stream. There y'all go. About 95.
Yeah, you can
Around
clip
there.
the shit.
But yeah. I like Thomas just being like, what?
Yes, this is different states. This is
Well, it all
different
became-
dialects.
I mean, you can blame me. You can blame me for this, everyone. I'll take the brunt of it. I'm the one who started it.
Alright, but it's your fault.
Yo, notice
But
I
yeah.
started say nothing until it was time to fucking instigate.
So-
throw the flyer on somebody.
Yo, listen, if I was talking to either one of y'all with those accents, like in person, like if y'all was somebody I was having a conversation with, I would definitely like my response would be like, I'm gonna see y'all.
Then you gonna dip on me like that, bro? When I come up there?
I mean, like, yeah, all right, bro. Like, I heard everything you said. Like, that shit's crazy. All right, but
Dog
that's
said, I
one
don't
thing.
wanna
Yeah.
The thing is, okay, so
No. One thing you will hear over here all the time is the word crazy. You will hear that shit nonstop. Like,
Sit here or work.
that's
What?
crazy.
yeah, that's just one word that you hear constantly there.
Such an
Well, what
overused
word?
word, to be
What-
honest.
That's crazy. That
Oh, that's
y'all know all
crazy.
the y'all know all the words. Timberland stomp, all that shit.
Yeah, everybody knows those.
We had curb stomps in LA.
We got on God.
I suppose, but you ain't.
I
Like
said Timberland. I
What?
said
You said
Timberland
Timberlands.
stomp.
Oh yeah, no, not with Timberland stuff.
Well, on God. That shit is played out. The
He had
the
that
phrase
track
on
record.
the phrase on
The
God.
one thing I hear consistently is that everybody says that in New York we talk aggressively.
Y'all do.
You
Y'all
do.
talk mad aggressive,
I
nigga.
know I know a New Yorker. He's a hella aggressive.
Bro, my homie sent me, bro. That
Yeah,
nigga
I
talking
promise.
mad
Yo,
aggressive.
we don't see it. We don't see it. I don't see it. I mean,
Bro,
I
you
mean,
all,
of course
bro,
you don't see
half
it.
these guys talk like they
Of
want to
course you
start a
don't see it.
fight.
That's how you talk.
It's weird.
Nah, because it's different. It's crazy depending on where you go. Cause like in Atlanta, if somebody comes to you and they be like, "Fuck going on, boy," or, you know, "Fuck you got going on," that just means what's popping, what's good, what's up with you. It doesn't mean anything actually aggressive. But
Yeah.
if you just come over here and you like, if some black ass nigga walk up to you talking like, "Well, fuck going on, boy," you gonna like, "What the hell wrong with this nigga?"
I know, like regular people.
another word I hear that we say a lot is dead. Like I remember I saw this one meme where they were like in Florida, if you told like somebody, yo, your mom is dead outside, like that person would start crying because they don't understand it.
I know what that means.
Nah, some people don't understand. Like, what do you
Yeah,
mean
man.
dead? What do you mean? They're like, what do you mean dead?
I like dead.
That just means for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
Just
for
what
real
I was saying.
outside.
That.
Yeah.
The thing with the thing with Californians is that we don't really have an accent.
Yeah,
don't.
We do not.
You're funny, bro.
Y'all don't.
They
Y'all
do.
Don't.
No, they do.
No, I'm asking like
They
y'all don't.
absolutely
Like
do.
no, I'm asking y'all don't with my face crunched up.
Because they think they are the stars. That's why.
I'm like, nigga, yes,
Like
y'all do.
like when Soldier Boy said who, that's my face right now.
Because I'm like,
no, we do, but it's like, how do you think we sound? Legit.
I can't.
Like the
I can't
people on
imitate it.
TV.
I can't
The people
imitate it, but
on
I
TV?
know
Oh,
it
that's crazy.
when I hear it. It's the same with New York niggas. I didn't really know what a New York accent was until I met Tarnish
It's a
and my other
dialect,
friends in New York.
right? I mean,
And now I know what New York niggas sound like.
What? Damn! Now you see it. What we sound like?
There was a dude. There was a dude in a fucking space I was in, and he's from New York, and I was like, I ain't even know, and I was like, but I just like, okay, I can hear his voice. Probably from New York. I looked it up. He's from New York. I know New York accents now. If I'm hanging around enough Californians, I know their accent too. And I've heard it. I just can't
really
describe
bad
it yet.
with dialects and accents. I'm really bad. Like I
Well,
can.
we're American.
Okay,
No,
so
no,
one
but
word
not
we
just with
use in-
American, but overall, I'm just bad with all kinds of dialects and accents. I can never place it.
All right, so one
Even
word
in
we
Germany.
use heavily in California is like. Practically every sentence is always has some form of like in it. So
Yeah,
like
I'm
I was
with
going
you.
into like the coffee shop and
Yeah.
like I had to order like a
So I said, like the girls on TV, like
Then
always.
I must be. Then I must be.
We
from
use it
California. That's what I
heavily.
do. That's what I do. So I must be from California then, I guess.
I mean,
The thing is,
there's more
I do
to
it too, but that's
Right.
mostly because I picked up a lot of my English when it came down to it from movies and TV.
Yeah,
And
and all
there are a
of
lot
those
of shows that
situated
are
in
set in
Hollywood.
California, a lot of TV shows set there, which I picked up a lot of the like when I write, not so much when I talk.
And then like when they asked for like my order, I had to like wait 5 minutes, and we typically have like that a little bit of twang in our voice where it kind of reverbs a little bit. Yeah, so
I mean, you say that like it's a thing, but it's really just you. It's really just what the people in the UK say when they say yeah in like after every 3 words. It's just an American version of it.
it really be that though.
I know. Because I said that's how I identified what that was. Because I kept hearing all my UK people like Jose, and I know if he's here, he knows what I'm talking about. They always say
crazy.
They always say something like, what is it? Like, what is it? I went to the store, yeah. And after I went to the store, I met this girl, yeah. And then it's like that.
Oh, that shit.
Yeah.
Look, are you fucking crazy?
They do that.
I watched a Top Boy, and man, when I say my UK accent was shining through, that shit was so funny, boy.
It's either they'll say that or they'll say in it.
In
it. That's another one.
Man, crazy bad thing. Those motherfuckers love saying thing, man.
The check is doing
man.
I remember at one time I was in, I think it was a Discord, not our Discord server, some other Discord server, but maybe Aniki was there, and somebody was like, I thought he assumed that we were all like native English speakers, so he thought I was Australian. I was no, and then he said French. And I was like, no, I'm not French. Don't insult me. No, but the thing is, I thought it was funny because it just went all these different English-speaking places. Because the thing is, there are a lot of countries that speak English, like loads of countries, especially when you go to like Africa. Loads of countries that have official language Africa, but just don't know the accent.
Also, like the thing of like LA is that like different regions of that city also have different ways of talking. For example, the way someone might talk on Riverside is different than someone talking if they're from like Long Beach, where it's like Artesia and Ramona. Like it can get very, very specific. And eventually, once you've lived there long enough, you can just kind of tell like the area itself, just like by what words are being used more frequently.
Yeah, we have that too. Like where I come from, not me, because as I said, I'm super bad with dialects, but I know people that just from the way you talk, they can pick out the exact village where you grew up at.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like a lot of people, you can usually tell at least like, yeah, nah, you can't do cities. The only time you can do cities is if you're a country person identifying like somebody from the local major city.
Dialect.
Yeah, otherwise, yeah, like that doesn't work here because it's just too much.
No, it doesn't work. But it's like within the region where I lived in, there were some people who within that region could point at the exact villages. They wouldn't be able to do that in another state or anything.
I mean, you could do that with New York. I mean, you can do that with New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's certain phrases that people insert.
Well, it ain't just phrases. Oh, it ain't phrases. It ain't the phrases. It's the dialect. It's a voice. It's the voice. Because like Tarnus over here sounds a lot like my friend Alvin. They have very similar ways of speaking.
That reminds me. I wouldn't
confuse with somebody from Manhattan.
I think around about a few months ago, I watched one of these true crime documentaries, and in that, the killer phoned the police, and from his regional dialect, they just asked an expert, and that expert could pinpoint the exact village of like a few hundred people where this person grew up at, because he was so stupid calling the police with his regional dialect, and then they caught him.
That's dog. Imagine somebody being like, "Nigga, you sound guilty."
Hey, listen, if I got such a distinct accent that like they could just kind of tell, hey, yo, this dude living with like 20 people on 3rd Street. I'm sorry, bro. I wasn't
made for this. You don't call police and admit to murder, right? With that accent.
I get it when you see. Okay, one of my favorite phrases that I've coined is people become desensitized to themselves.
Mm.
So in turn, since you grow up your whole life with your accent, most people wouldn't think of themselves as even having one, unless they interact with people who speak differently, and someone points it out to them.
Well, that's the funny part about it, though, because I don't think I have one, and nobody tells me I don't have one, so I don't know what it is. Which one is it?
So with you're from. I could tell you grew up in major cities in Tennessee, most like, or
that's
like
actually not true.
Really? You don't sound like you were. Oh no! Like living in the burbs, like it is still living in the city ultimately.
Oh, you think so? Because I'm like 30 minutes from the city.
So you don't like, but you didn't do stuff like there all the time.
The closest thing I did to really doing stuff in the city is going to see my grandmother, and she lives like on the other side of the city. Let's just say that.
Yeah, because like you sound like you live like off the city, or like if living in the burbs, it's probably a newer suburb of people who worked in the city that like expanded.
That's very possible.
But geographically, a lot of it is where you're like going to work. So if the place you most frequent is in the city, then you're gonna start carrying a lot of that dialect.
Yeah, because like I'm from the South, but nobody would guess I'm from the South. Surprise!
Right, you sound like and like people from the South that are from cities or worked in cities a lot usually don't have the accent in my experience, at least.
Unless you're from Atlanta.
Yeah, but
everybody in Atlanta just sounds like.
Hey, what the fuck you say about my city?
Y'all got a whole unique thing.
I actually also always
Well,
thought I didn't
every
have a
sentence
dialect
ends with ball.
in German, but then somebody told me, because the thing is, my mother has a dialect, but not the dialect of the region where I grew up at, and I never picked up her dialect, nor did I pick up the dialect of the region where I grew up, but I picked up some phrases apparently that I just thought were universal, and then I don't know. Sometime I was like 19. I went on vacation. I met somebody from Hanover, and Hanover is where you speak the cleanest standard German. Apparently, that's what they say. And she immediately picked out that she couldn't pick out the region where I am from, but she picked out that I'm from South Germany, or south of Hanover, which is easy because Hanover is like very far north. But that was the first time I realized that I have a dialect too.
I'm similar to that.
In Belgium, it's different because how can I say you in every village they have their own dialects, you know, from
Germany too,
from Flemish. So me being from Brussels, I talk French, and our French even in Brussels is different than the French from in Wallonia, south of Belgium, and France. So we have a lot of English, we have a lot of Dutch accents in our words, even the way that we talk sometimes, our French. Then I was going to a Dutch speaking school in Brussels, so I had this, and the fact that I was speaking French before Dutch, my Dutch was really, the sound that come out when I was speaking in Dutch were really had a lot of French sounds. So I was, yes, I'm Belgian. You're Dutch. Oh, cool, man. So the thing about it is literally is my whole life. People are saying that, oh, your French at school, oh, your Dutch is not good enough. It has too much French sounds. That they tried to make my education life when I was in my high school. They really tried to put me down a lot with this, literally. So until today, I speak Dutch, but I know that my Dutch, if I speak Dutch to today, people can still hear that I'm from like Brussels or that I speak French. But if I speak French, people know, you sound like you're from Brussels, right? Yes. I can hear that in your way to talk. Like you say stuff that we don't say here, like in the South. Okay. So it's fun. And if you come from Antwerp or from the east side of Belgium, like Flanders, you have the east side of Flanders has more German Dutch in their language because they're at the frontier with Germany, and at the sea they speak literally something else.
So like one thing with like dialects here, like for example, there are very like kind of stereotypical ways to like do an accent, but there are like at least celebrities that you can easily tell, like once you've lived in like the city long enough, that they're instantly from like a certain part. Like for example, even without like knowing Griffey is from Long Beach, like I can kind of just instantly tell that just by the way he talks, like just the way he like uses certain phrases and like how he structures his sentence.
In Germany, I think it's really hard in Germany to not know that you have a dialect unless you speak like standard German for the most part, but have some unique phrases here and there. You would always know that you speak a dialect because you learn the standard language in school, and there's no way around that. So and if you have a dialect, of course, you go to school, and the first thing you have to learn is the standard German. So you would know that.
Yeah, that's the same thing here. We have a standard English.
Real quick, roll call in the chat. Where y'all at? Because when we did the favorite bishop polls, we found you guys all over the world. So I'm just kind of curious, like what countries and states you guys
there were
are from.
viewers everywhere.
Because like I'm seeing California. We're talking about being born in France and raised in Baltimore. Kind of curious because let's bring the chat in on this because we've been neglecting them a little. Especially since they've been talking about the live action movie for like a solid 5 minutes.
Friese.
Yes, it's from the Friesland. It's at the north of Netherlands.
No.
Yeah.
I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, so I'm from where I was born because my city's like the 30th largest in the country. So for the US, that's pretty good.
I always laugh when I read Dutch.
Oh, you're Russian. Nice, man. Oh, Daniel. Okay.
H-Town. Hold on. In any case, I actually have to get going. I have some stuff to do today.
Oh, final thoughts, BG. Give me final thoughts on the chapter real quick.
Oh, I mean, it was great. I mean, we're finally starting to get Uradika's moments to shine, and that's what we've all been waiting for, especially for somebody like me. So that's great. And I don't know. I just need I'm gonna I hate to call him out again, but yes, I'm gonna need Jose to keep doing this little gimmick of his where he shits on a chapter in the leaks and then praises it in the fucking when it actually comes out. It's hilarious now at this point. So keep on. That's a shout out to him. It was great. 10 out of 10. See ya.
Bye, BG.
Bye, BG. See you, brother.
Oh, make sure you don't speak the Kansai accent. It'll get you fired and possibly arrested.
What accent?
I think it's the Kansai in Japanese.
All right.
It's basically so like you know that how you'll be watching anime and the gangsters will be all like with their Japanese, and you're like, why are they tongue rolling and all this other weird shit? I guess that's a legitimate thing where people like go about their daily lives talking like that.
So if you speak they have a language in Japan. It's literal talk gangster.
Yeah, like so like when you talk like that, yeah, like they associate it with that. Like they still have lots of bans on tattoos and stuff. Like they have a lot of like arguably you should be able to. I think it's the Kansai. I might be tripping on that particular one, but I think that's the accent. If Uraraka is Kansai, that would actually make sense just because she's also supposed to be poorer, so she has like less quality Japanese. Is how that would essentially be, since there's like levels to Japanese where there are authors who are considered great simply because they utilize the language so properly in ways that people who have studied and grown up speaking it didn't even realize could be done.
Reminds me of which I recently found out how they picked the standard Italian language, how they picked that, which was essentially like Italy had these, like Germany, they were parted into these hundreds of tiny states and cities that were all had their own version of Italian or even a completely different language on their own. And at some point they unified, or they were strives to unify the country. So they were like, we need a language that we use together. And they just picked the most beautiful version of Italian that there is, which is, of course, the language used by the most important Italian writer, Dante. So they picked that, and then the Fiorentinis, so the people from Florence, they were like, yeah, but Dante is like 300 years old. It's old. Nobody speaks like that anymore. And then there were other people, like new modern guys like Machiavelli, who thought, no, let's use, like Florentine is best Italian, absolutely. They agreed, but not the old Dante Florentine, but our Florentine. And that's how Italian came to be.
In conclusion, Machia is a Chad.
Also, way to go, Squid, for ending up on My Hero Academia fans being horny.
Yeah, man. You know, I really put work into this, man. I was like,
I so missed that dispute.
I was like Julio. Listen, I was like Julio Jones with that crazy 270-yard game, something crazy like that, man. I was going wild out there.
Like this man said, he just wanted to suck that big bush wild man Machia meat. And I don't even know what to say.
That's hard on 4K on the TL, man. Literally.
Like.
Listen, okay, if everybody else could get one moment to wild out, I get at least 3, okay?
This
At
nigga
least
talking
30.
about
And to
big,
call me about being the holy guy in the church.
big, fat,
Yeah, bro.
meaty cock.
What?
Since we on MHA again, I've been waiting for this.
I have very colorful descriptions.
Yes, you do. Discrepancy. Since chat is going down more and more, views going down more and more, I wanted to get this out the way. Was this enough for him? Nah, I'm gonna wait for Tarnish for the second one if he's around. But
I'm right here. What's up?
okay, first thing is shout out to Alfie. Horkoshi doing his thing once again. If you read page 7, Nezu saying lack of understanding, intolerance, it seems that we're always just one step away. Try as it might, humanity struggles to make true progress down this path. Issues shift and voices clash, making that single step feel like an impossible journey. In any case, I believe there's a sound argument to be made for him being here with us. Go on, tackle that matter with your full power. And that last part has Ochiko. Then if you tie it back again at the end of the chapter from page 7 to the last one, it's Nezu. Then again, that single step feels like an impossible journey. And I believe once someone takes that unlikely step and carves a path, the ultimate hero will rise up, one who surpasses even Yagi, yes, even All Might himself. So that connection, shout out to Alfie for making that connection. That 7 directly correlates back again to 17. Was it 17? 17 pages this week?
Yeah, so that basically what you're trying to say is that Ochako we were too focused on Deku, and she will be the one that surpasses All Might.
Yeah, basically, that's essentially what it's saying.
That
so
is
the
true,
quirk,
though.
So the quirk evolution will be like,
So Deku,
she'll be on her Fuji's argument.
Yeah.
Deku next chapter, you see how he's staring at her? He's gonna use his float next chapter, go up there, he's gonna give her a kiss, and he's gonna pass on one for all.
Yeah, basically. And then Deku's body is gonna deteriorate and die from his ligament, from that.
Hey, bro.
And so this arc was Deku's last hurrah as the MC
Yeah,
of
basically.
My Hero.
Yeah, basically.
That makes sense though, bro. That's a banger.
Yeah, oh god.
And unlike Anthony, he'll ask for consent.
Also,
we ain't touching that. We ain't touching that with a 10-foot pole. Hell no.
Horikoshi doesn't approve of this story. He's a misogynist.
Oh god. But hey, speaking of things, Tarnish, since I got my other right hand here. Oh yeah, by the way, I met one of our oldest church members in Dot. Last weekend we linked up at the mall.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. We linked up at the mall. He was in my city. We linked up and shit. We kicked it for a little while. I will say the nigga is the younger Endeavor. The nigga built.
Yeah, he really is.
And he said, he fucked with some of y'all. He'll be back in like November, son. He got that boy and some things, boy. Boy out there wilding. And he said, I also said a bunch of dookie heads, and I agree.
I mean, that is true.
Yeah. True. But since I got my boy here, my right hand. Listen, you know what time it is, right? Tarnish.
What time is it?
Tag team duel time. When Shigaraki wakes up and finds out that his motherfucking brother is gone.
It's over.
Yeah, I don't realize the hell that will incur. Let me take y'all back to after Kamino. What they literally stated about Shigaraki's character. Each time he takes an L, he climbs back up and he learned from that even more so than before. Each time they came at him or he got down bad, who came out on top? Every back time. Every which way class, who came back on top every time. This is the single-handedly biggest L he could have ever taken. It has nothing to do with him whatsoever, honestly. Like, it's really, like, yeah, he could have killed, but, plot aside, he could have killed, whatever, some of these niggas, but he was kind of,
kept people alive.
He kept a couple people alive. It basically kept Endeavor and
for good reason, though.
Deku alive. Yeah, Deku alive. But, we can't really hold him. He was, like, really fucking niggas up. Like when he was beating their ass, all right? He aimed to kill a few niggas, but he didn't have his fucking quirk. But listen, man, he has never experienced a loss of this magnitude. They actually cared about Magnet, and that was still in the early stages of the league. You don't understand how far they have come. Like really reread, don't rewatch, reread NBA. Look at their partnership and their brotherhood, how he valued twice, so much. Like, and then look at Overhaul again. Like I trust, like. They became a family. You don't understand. When you in the mud with somebody, you think of how the military people have that bond and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
But even time stronger than that. Like they're in the mud together and they don't have a choice. Like military, you can always ban your opposed to like that. Like these niggas, like I ain't gonna disrespect the military like that, but you know what I'm saying? Like these niggas came together of their own accord because of the same ideals, because of the same cause, and they spent this time in the mud, boy, like in the mud, broke, robbing other fucking gang members on the run, hiding out. They were sleeping on bed frames with no mattresses, bro.
Eating cheese.
Oh God, like I'm pretty sure some of that cheese was spoiled, bro. Like they were sleeping on bed frames with no mattresses. You understand that? They was out
Bro, that's like one step. Yo, listen,
with no arms.
Bro, that was like one step up from a paddock. That's crazy.
Oh God, like bro, niggas in prison are living better than them. Not Tartars, but niggas in average prisons were living better.
And heroes are constantly catching them. Like they have a whole site dedicated to tracking the league, like league sightings.
Yeah, like they be on a run, keep on loosing and goosing. Like, bro, I'm telling y'all, like, when he wakes up and find out what happened, like, I'm not even just talking about like Spoonbill punk ass. Like, I'm talking about in general. They are finna, they are finna wreak and incur havoc that's never been seen before. Like, y'all gonna gas up off one's intellect all y'all want and this and the other. Nah, you don't have to be a intellect in depth like this genius to be a fucking god tier villain. And Shigaraki really finna show y'all, hey, I might not have off one genius, but I ain't got to, nigga. I'm gonna show y'all I'm that nigga on some other shit.
Bro, he really ain't playing, bro. He's coming in, smacking his head, ready for a
some
fight.
Some of these niggas might get their quirks taken.
Bro, they will. I can't wait. That's gonna be one of the biggest moments right there.
People don't ever talk about how he has all for one at max potential. Like, he can take and give quirks whenever he wants to.
Oh, he got them steel.
I saw somebody say Shigaraki was gonna take Gaten's ice quirk and give it to Dabi.
I'll be fine with that.
Now I keep thinking about I've been thinking about that heavily. I'm like, you know what? I'm not even against it because I feel like
his body's suited. They said his body is suited for ice.
Okay, but real quick, something I also wanted to address because I was thinking about this, like, and it was actually watching the overhaul arc that made me think about it. Is that one more thing that Horikoshi did, just as like another emphasis on Dabi being Toya?
Mm-hmm.
Was that he basically took the principles of flash fire and was using them every time he struck. Almost. Like you would constantly see Dabi
always
like
pull back.
Yeah, like he would constantly like fire it off and then just like stop and like do these burst attacks. And so it's like he was using the principles that Endeavor starts teaching Shoto, and like you still didn't think about it. Like or you didn't think about that particular aspect of how he was using his fire as another thing that was supposed to tie them together, because they were already like, you're like, oh yeah, it's so obvious, like that you didn't even notice the extra cool stuff he threw in there a lot of times.
Almighty Fish Max, you asked me this: what happens first, Shiggy defeat off one, then causing havoc, or havoc then defeat off one? The craziest part is it don't even matter. It could go either way, any which way. Me and Coyote, shout out to Coyote, we talked about how basically you could establish off one getting his crew right now and having his people, and then Shigaraki waking up and doing his thing, and they could clash in order to cause like, you know, their own villain civil war. And then because like, at the end of the day, no matter, I don't care what none of y'all niggas talking about. It's a fact. Shigaraki the final villain. I don't care what the hell you talking about, how you feel. They're gonna take.
Nobody can tell me he's not. He's not finished.
It's not up for discussion. Shigaraki the final villain. Okay,
yet. He's coming back.
Second,
his story is not. Bro, the last time we saw Shigaraki even speak, he was lucid, talking about some Maki and break free. Like he hasn't had a word, dialogue, nothing at all. Like
not even since then. No, last thing nigga says like, I ain't gonna be your stinking pawn.
I'm just talking about the last time he spoke from that body in general. Like his character is not finished yet. He's like, All For One did not punk him that badly. It wasn't even presented like that.
And matter of fact, all y'all go read the war. Everybody, that's your homework assignment. Y'all motherfuckers got a homework assignment. Everybody go reread the war, because a lot of y'all need to recheck how that shit went down and the whole body snatching theory. A lot of
y'all being graded too, and we ain't got no curving over here. You get what you get.
Tell them again.
We ain't adjusting for no average out here.
Don't read this game. Either pay for that viz, pay that $2.
Yeah, oh God, because y'all need to reread that war arc dead ass. Because if you really look at when he took Shigaraki's body after Shigaraki, first of all, Shigaraki, y'all keep talking about the vestiges not going away.
It was never at his detriment. It was never at his detriment, bro. It was always. He always took it for a reason. He always did something like of value.
Oh God, like bro, listen, y'all need to reread when y'all talk about the vestige and like, oh, the vestige still going. No, let me say, Shigaraki put the vestige in check the first time. Said, I run my life. This is my body. Decay the nigga. You know when he seen the vestige again? After Shigaraki got burnt to a crisp. That's when the vestige popped back up. So until then, the vestige was sitting his ass down. And Shigaraki had to basically burnt to death and off one said, yo, lend me your body. For a reason, because they were going to fucking lose.
Took little bro controller to beat the level.
He was
it's crazy.
Objectively going to fall to his death.
Exactly. Like
because like the Shigaraki, his consciousness was lost. The only thing that like let him even come back was that it's like he was asleep. And because off one was like, no, nigga, we can't fall. He woke back up. Well, huh? Yo. Oh, we was falling? Hey, let me fight. Like, what?
Did I catch you trying to fall?
Yeah.
Wait. Yo, time out, East. I'm so glad we in this conversation right now because I've been waiting for a chance to say this. All right. So all y'all, all for one, is the main villain people. Who is the threat in this chapter alone? Who is the villain they're talking about throughout the whole chapter? Shigaraki. Shigaraki did that. We're fighting Shigaraki. They're not worried about all for one. Shigaraki is the one on the news. They're talking about Shigaraki hunting Deku. And people still say Shigaraki is not the main villain no more.
Bro, I don't got listen, bro.
He's the main focus.
Bro, they gonna be done when I can't wait to like, bro, the vest don't mean shit. Can't wait till he kill a real nigga. And y'all ain't gonna have nothing to say because y'all gonna be like, y'all ain't gonna be up for no discussion. It's not up for discussion now, but y'all like your little wiggle room and ridiculousness. Like okay, I don't get it.
Real quick, we call Dobby's quirk cremation, but that's mostly because the word Dobby means cremation or like to cremate. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So his quirk has officially never been named. And
that's being saved for the Dobby origin chapter.
Yup. I wouldn't be surprised if it was actually something more like, because like when we did the measurement or the temperature calcs, we know that he's is it around like what was it like 4,000 degrees Celsius possible?
Yeah.
Because of
near the sun.
He's roughly around 4,500.
4,500 Celsius.
Yeah, because he melted.
Because he flash melted it. Yeah, because he boiled it in an instant.
And that's around 2,000. No, that's around 3,500 Celsius. So, and then with the speed he melted it at, he'd have to be far hotter. So, then you have to factor in how much he increases from his flash with his prominence burn. Yeah. So like you probably end up with like his prominence burn, like his most strongest attack is probably 5K.
Yeah. Yes. Listen, you heard it here first. That's not his strongest attack either.
Oh God, we didn't get to see his strong. He was about to do his strongest attack.
Nah. His prominence burn, not his strongest attack. You think Dobby would let his strongest attack be a mimic of Endeavor's strongest attack?
I mean, it's literally just the way. I mean, a prominence burn is just releasing all the heat he has.
I'm talking his final attack gonna be some suicide shit because he's not getting locked up. BOS.
Yeah, them niggas dying.
And for the record, that's about 9,032 degrees Fahrenheit.
Hey Daniel, listen, ain't no 50-50. It's 100% Shigaraki. Let me explain something to you. I bet majority of y'all don't even know what Horikoshi's actual first like one shot series was, huh? I know the church knows. No church members don't answer because I know y'all fucking. I know y'all niggas know.
I don't know.
Majority y'all niggas don't even know.
Why we give them time to think of that? Well, I know niggas don't know anyway. Y'all remember that 306 color spread? It was Shigaraki and Deku. Mm-hmm. Who they hold? They was holding the old guards, All Might, Off One.
Because they time about to be up.
Oh, he's trying to run the mans. Is that simple?
Time is about to be up, but these niggas don't want. I don't, bro. Honestly, bro. Y'all niggas goofy and stupid. And how does the rise?
Bro, Nezu said at the end of the chapter, a hero that surpasses even Yagi, All Might. And you think that we're never gonna see a villain that surpasses All For One?
Bro, how do y'all look at the rise of the next generation on the hero side, but not the villains when it's been set up the same fucking way? Foils for each side.
Deku said in the preview for NBA in the anime, he said at the same time we increase on our strength, Shigaraki and his allies are like, you don't see like y'all just said fuck all the parallels, right?
That should have been my gold spinner though, but we ain't gonna complain about that.
All right,
Alright,
since
so
ain't gonna
not
complain
even,
about
not even.
that.
Yeah, we're gonna leave that to the side. But like, so fuck all those parallels between Deku and Shiggy, right? Just all of that is just that was just for the war, and then it's done after that.
yeah, y'all don't respect
Yeah,
shit.
no more
That's what it is.
parallels.
Y'all
We
don't
did
respect
those
y'all.
for literally no reason.
Listen, I'm not
Mhm.
trying to hear it.
Yeah,
Y'all don't respect.
100%.
Y'all don't respect Horikoshi and his writing. Y'all truly don't. Y'all might praise it, but do you truly see Off One as a final villain when the entire story is set up for it to be Shigaraki? You don't respect Horikoshi. I'm not trying to hear it because it don't make any sense why he would just ruin everything he set up.
Man,
Possibly like let's not even talk like okay, let's not say like you want to rush it, okay, whatever. Shigaraki don't like actually accomplish, okay, whatever. You want to think that ludicrous nonsense, okay. Why the fuck would he even set up like hit Shigaraki as the final villain and just have it be off on like, bro? Why would he waste all his time doing that? And he
oh,
already
how
like,
much disrespect Horikoshi gets? I wouldn't be surprised if half the people don't even respect their own mama. It's
on
crazy.
God, boy, for
They
real.
don't.
So I gave y'all time to answer, and no, it's not Omidekizu. It was actually a one shot featuring a protagonist who was actually named Tenko, and it was back in I don't know the periods of Japan, but it was more so like a samurai era. One of y'all probably know like Edo, whatever fucking shit it was called.
Feudal era.
Yeah. So basically, the MC was Tenko. He literally had Shigaraki's powers where he could actually touch stuff and decay, and that was like, and he would just start destroying the weapons that the samurai would use or the police would use because they were corrupted in the little society they had. And it was another main protagonist, female lead in there, and that guy was more so of a hero. But literally, the first like one shot story he had was the MC was Tenko, was Shigaraki. It was a little white haired boy named Tenko. And I bet half of y'all niggas didn't even know that shit because I gave y'all time to answer.
Also, real quick, because we were
study.
talking about Dabi, specifically, his flames are about this temperature of the surface of a red giant. So he actually could have a star flame quirk, or like it could be something about star temperatures.
Yo, this nigga shoot a fucking star.
Literally.
I mean, the surface of it,
walking
yes.
away.
More the deeper you delve into it,
It don't even matter,
more.
but just being near that shit will fucking boil you.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
on its
easily.
own.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, he's technically hotter than the average red
Deku passed
giant.
out.
Yeah.
Deku passed out being close to him.
You're dead even before that. I don't know that he puts his flames on. You're dead.
Yeah, like
technically, that's what happens. At the moment that he just start the fire, you're in 10-meter radius of him. You're already starting to die.
Oh God! So
that's how powerful his flames are.
Since we speaking of death, hey, hold up. Now I want everybody here who's in the church to go to Viz officials. Okay.
Okay. What is it?
I'm going to send a picture. Tarnish, you know the exact picture I'm going to send. So everybody in here go to Viz officials. That is not what's finna fucking happen, and that is not good in any regard.
Bro, they getting
God.
Bro, we killmongering
trashiest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah,
You
context.
truly
Yeah. Context for people that can't see this.
I don't have this.
Yeah,
this is Bobo.
context.
Bobo.
It's some fan art of Dabi and Shiggy end of series, and Shiggy is in Tartarus in chains, and Dabi is in a black hoodie, regular civilian. He's like, oh, Shigaraki's like, so you patch things up with your family, right, Toya? Good luck. People want MHA to end like that.
That's what y'all really. Right?
So
just forget he's a mass murderer. That's what y'all actually want.
So Whack, real quick, the one thing I want to address though is that while yes, Makia was brushing off his flames, Makia was not brushing off flash fire. Specifically, flash fire techniques are the ones that are around the temperature or exceed the temperatures of the surface of a red giant.
Yeah, I'll defend those claims. Makia doesn't feel pain. That doesn't mean that he brushed it off.
He was charred.
Yeah,
that's the other thing.
Yeah, he was still smoking off that bitch too.
He wasn't in the anime, but that's why we read the manga. In the anime, he was hurt.
Hold on, he was fine in the anime?
In the anime, he had nothing on him. It was just like, and Dabi threw more fire than he did in the manga. I think he threw like two fire.
Well, look who showed up. Yo, Endot, what's popping?
Endot.
Wow, that's
Tell them boys how your Atlanta trip was, Endot. Hey, but since we on the topic of the boys and how
Yeah,
MHA,
nigga say y'all don't like that fan art. Hell
yo,
no,
get
I
the
like
fuck
that.
that shit
The art,
garbage.
the art,
Hey, yo,
the art.
listen.
Yo, no, wait, time out. All respect to the artists, of course. Listen, you need to dedicate your
Yeah.
time and you know your talent to that. You could like this scenario. I don't know why you want this,
Yeah, the art is
but
good,
you know you
but
could dedicate this to something even greater.
yeah, like you're
Like-
squandering your potential over something that was not good in any regard.
Like what you could do is dedicate your art to creating like a giant spread where it's at Todoroki Estate and Endeavor's passed out or dead, we don't know for sure, in the background. And you can see all the little bridges and stuff. And you see Toya and Shoto facing off with a bunch of ice and flames popping up around Shoto and all the blue fire coming around Dabi as they walk towards each other. If you dedicate your time to that, yeah.
Nah, man, look,
that is pretty.
That would hit. That hits.
Hey, yo, listen. You know what?
And
Rather than
that would blow up. And that would blow up.
yeah.
rather than that
Yeah,
trash
yeah.
ending of them being in jail and just being cool with it, I'd be on some like Killmonger type beat, like bury me in the sea with my ancestors.
Listen, that's what.
First of all, how come
Bondage.
Dobby free and not Shiggy?
Because
How
remember,
come he get a
because
slap on the
remember-
wrist?
So you know that means you know for a fact that you know Toga
it's
is
because
getting,
of
getting
nepotism.
you know Toga getting counseling.
Hold on, wait a minute. It's because of nepotism, because he's the son of a top hero, which means he gets extra privileges by the judicial committee.
And I could tell that the person who drew this fan art reads the manga because Dobby's scars look exactly how they do right now. His face is messed up. He got the little red thing in the hair from the exhibition art. So you read the series. Like, you can do better.
Yeah, you got so much potential. Why would you write that nonsensical boo boo? Please stop. please stop. You have talent.
Some boo-boo,
Your picture, your skills aren't ass. Just the what you wrote was like it was terrible. Like that is not good in any regard. And especially because how the hell Shigaraki this bitch and Davi just gone? Like
Shigaraki chilling, he's happy. Like
but let's get on to this topic. Let's get on to this topic. There is no other way for these two characters to end in death. There's no way you can spin it. There's no way it works. Shigaraki change is garbage. Shigaraki will never change. Don't ever try to be like, oh, he could just be there and maybe he can move forward on his own free will, like, and maybe he can try to change, and he go willing to jail or some shit like nigga. No. So basically, what you telling me, you don't respect the LOV because niggas laid down their life for this nigga Shigaraki and his cause because they fucking respect their boss. That's all you tell them. You don't respect the LOV and their action, their struggles, and everything they went through, the blood, sweat, and tears, and the limbs they literally lost to get to this point, and the lives they lost. You don't respect Magne. You don't respect Compressed Luna's arm. You don't respect Twice's death. Like, you don't respect Toga going haywire. You don't respect Spinner saying "fuck you" all for one. Like, you ain't my nigga. Like all this shit. You don't respect
Imagine they cut that out season 6. What if they really just cut out Spinner's character arc entirely? Like they're just like, damn, we already messed up. Might as well just roll with it. Like
That'd be funny though.
Let's take out more shit. Let's take out him
fact.
putting the hand on Shigaraki's face.
Fun fact, guess
Like,
what?
how are they gonna do that? Yo, they basically ruined that now if they go back to that because he has a flashback to that scene of him watching Shigaraki talking about how he feels with the hands on and then he puts it on. Like, and they don't.
So wait, hold on. So like my thing with Spinner, what made it so funny was that the actor actually voiced some of the dialogue. Like he was given like the dialogue in the manga and he voiced it, but they just didn't put it into the actual script of the final broadcast episode.
Yes, this season, even if it ends up being the right move, it's been very sloppily done.
Okay, look.
He was gonna do that.
What actually, and I've said this before, what needs to stop happening is manga readers kind of have to just kind of be quiet for a bit. And we need to see what the actual anime only crowd is saying when they're not being bombarded with negativity from manga readers, especially when you have manga readers going to the degree to complain that this is akin to like the Promised Neverland season 2.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Oh my gosh, no, you playing? No, no, that's
Like,
disrespectful. Your privilege is showing in that one. That's
like
crazy.
it ain't never been that bad. My Hero ain't never done us that dirty. Like, no studio deserves to be accused of doing what TPN season 2 was, unless they
you do
actually
what they did.
Like,
I know. When I heard that from TV, I was slapping my ass. I thought to myself, bro, that can't be done. I was scared.
Yeah, his rant went crazy though. I watched that.
No, but I understand why he's like this, because that man always try to believe in the anime. You know what I mean?
He
Always,
just wanted the best for the anime. You know, me too.
like, and when I watch his videos, so most of the time when I see how hopeful that even when they change, he really try to believe that they change really for the tone, stuff like this. Really trying to put it. No, I know they're going to do something.
Instead of the movie that was 80% Roddy. That yeah, I know.
And when he got that first, so he was waiting for that episode of the anime, and.
well, okay, so again, this is one of those things that like people get mad at Ethan for it, but the fact that you can literally pull up the staff list and see that there's like no overlap means people have to stop saying the movie is the reason why. The movie isn't why. There was something else done here. And like I said on Twitter, this is something that I think started in season 4 when they cut out Overhaul's backstory with the disease stuff.
Yes,
so I need to see what the rest of this season looks like before I speak on it, because I want to make sure this isn't a fluke and that this is a deliberate, like, people are worried about the wrong kind of censorship when it comes to My Hero Academia, and that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Yeah, that's the thing that I was speaking of.
Wait, how does the cutting the rat story about censorship?
We'll get there.
Oh, are you talking about that Shoko Asura theory?
There's a lot of stuff that like ties into that, though. It's not just that.
Not just that.
It's what it does and how it portrays the villains and their impact too.
Yes,
that's they've been cutting stuff out.
Talking about.
So
let me.
That's why we need to see what the rest of NBA has done, like in the anime, before we really try to like go into what they've been adjusting and why they've been changing things. Because the other thing is that it comes down to, it may not even be a Bones decision, which is something that I've said multiple times. And this may be more like direct because of fear of government retribution, that type of stuff.
Yes.
My question is why is season 5 now suddenly because most likely this is a higher ups thing, and I do agree, but my question is, why is season 5 suddenly the time where we went from having broad overview to now being micromanaged?
No, because in season 4 it already started, man. That's the thing, the fact that they changed. I never understood why they put the overhaul stuff away. You know what I mean? Backstory away. I never understood that. Why? Because most of the time villains get in every story get their backstory, even if they are seemingly relatable. You know what I mean? And at that moment, it didn't give it to My Hero Academia. That was really weird. But when I saw that they were rearranging the anime and stuff like this, and I was really scared that they went on this in censoring stuff in that way. Literally, when the CRC is the equivalent of the KKK in My Hero Academia's world, and they literally cut out the KKK, man.
Bro, they really said racism doesn't exist here. That's wild.
That something like this can exist. It is something really that's really fucked up to put. When you think about it, cutting that scene is not just cutting a scene. It means so more. It was the fact that you as a watcher could.
Pantu. That's why I'm saying we need to wait and make sure that these scenes are all actually cut.
I hope that they didn't give us right, because
I'm trying not to, because that's why I said this in my eyes does not seem to be an actual creative decision, because we went from My Hero being complained about from being so one-to-one to all of a sudden stuff just kind of like falling out randomly. And it didn't really start dropping things until the rise of the villain saga. And the thing is that My Hero was never 100% one-to-one anyway, like especially in season 2. A lot of people's memories of the final exam arc are now the anime.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
it is not the actual final exam arc, because the anime final exam arc is one of the few times where they actually just straight up improved on something that Horikoshi did.
Yeah.
By not making them all take the exam at the same time, we actually got to sit there and enjoy and experience each of their exams. And so you could look at it as a weird way to bloat the back half of season 2, but I actually found it enjoyable. And it gave like an actual like place for people who were trying to keep up with all these characters, a way to track what's going on. And it gave more space for the manga to get ahead too. So that was nice as well.
We'll say. All right. Me, I enjoy the anime all the way through. I'm an understanding and compromising person. It is what it is. Like you said, no NBA open. Okay, cool. Whatever. They're like, they didn't switch up. No NBA ED opening. It is what it is. Got Shaft to move around because the big wiz did they shit. All the other micro shit that happened. Y'all be talking about. Okay, it is what it is. Yeah. They didn't do a little. I expected the Decay logo because they've been doing extra shit in Passion this season. I was like, no NBA open, no NBA ED. Okay, some censorship here and there, I understand, but Yaka Decay logo is an iconic moment. Didn't do it. Okay.
The guys.
Then they didn't do CRCC. Then they switched it around. At first, prior to that, they had not showed the preview. Nobody would have known they were going to do the redestro in the meeting in the apartment before. Had they not showed y'all in the preview. Okay. That's all we know. We don't know about Miyashita. That's the dang thing. His name and stuff like that. They switched that around. Okay. No CRC stuff. All I'm saying is the Splinter thing was important to his character. You can argue, yes, later on they could put it, but I'm not going to have that whole. I'm not going to be shitting on it and keep ragging on it. I said my piece. I should have been there. It's important for his character arc going forward. They could put it in later, but I'm not going to bank on them putting it in later.
Yep.
I'll just say that much. I'm not going to be like, all right, they still could, but will they? Is the question.
Doesn't make
because of other things that happening, like y'all said. So I like. Still a good episode, but they did cut something important. Like they could always run it back, but as of right now, like I ain't gonna say it's the worst thing ever though, because y'all niggas well bugging with that The Promised Neverland shit. That shit was another level of bad. I swear to God, if I was them niggas, Pazuki and Shizaki, why I smacked the shit out of whoever did that in my series. You got me fucked up. I would have said, hey bro, you got to see me outside. Real talk, because you got like fucked all the way up.
The mangaka they said that the mangaka was there too when he was predicting the anime. That he was the one writing the stuff. I was thinking to myself, no man.
If he didn't say that, they didn't say that themselves. I ain't believing it because that was shit.
And Vitorino, yeah. If what I'm worried about ends up happening, you will definitely get a video about it because it'll play into a larger issue then and would really highlight how disconnected, like it would allow for like the discussion on disconnects between management and creators and audiences and how it leads to a lot of issues with production and the quality of shows and how that often leads to degradation when people who are not creatives over enforce things, especially with the product that's already been established. They're busy trying to ensure that the income goes up, and so they're not trying to take anything that could be perceived as a creative risk. And because that potential is there, I want to make sure these episodes go a certain way before I'm like, yeah, this is what they're doing, and this is why, and this is what this impacts, and these perceptions, etc.
I have so at this point, if they are going to start cutting these more vital scenes, if they are, what I kind of suggest is essentially pull a One Piece and treat it as its own continuity. And if you do that, I feel you can be more creative with the more limited restrictions and censorship inbound. So, like for example, one idea, right? And maybe this sounds crazy. What if for the Tenko backstory, like the decay begins, right? But so you know how the anime turns them to stone? What if he turns them to stone, right? And then he turns his family to stone. Then he turns his father to stone. And they're like, and let's say like one falls over and cracks, and then the other one, and now they're just these statues.
Oh no, please.
So you mean like
that's a misrepresentation of his work.
I mean, at this point, I'd rather have them treat them as its own continuity because with their current time slot, they cannot faithfully adapt the story. So what I want them to do is make it like this almost fairy tale type thing where suddenly his family is like stone, and then he's like so afraid that he just like moves away. Add some. You can still keep the horror element of it, but like make it to where it's more like psychological rather than like more visceral.
So
that's one idea I had.
They could do, and people would hate this because they're like, oh, like because everybody wants. Okay. People need to be realistic, and if you are aware of the time slot that My Hero Academia comes on, you need to not expect it to do stuff that is going to be like the behavioral pattern of a show that comes on at midnight. Like, you know that that's not the case. You know that that's just not where it is. And you know that, so you know that most violence can't be done the way it is. Like, you're not supposed to be showing people's fingers get cut off in media. Like, that's not really a thing culturally. So like I already knew that was going to be censored. In fact, it was a big Twitter discussion when that chapter came out about the feelings of cutting off fingers and how that's something that's really intense and culturally like kind of stigmatized. And so if we understand these things going into it, we don't get to be like, wow, this thing we already knew was going to make audiences so uncomfortable that they probably wouldn't want it on TV. It could potentially get the show canceled if a huge string of these events were to occur didn't go down in a way that would lead to those strings of events occurring. Damn, why didn't they do that? And it's like, well, because they still have to. They have to make money. They have to be able to pay all the animators. This isn't MAPPA. And based on what we know, this isn't MAPPA.
Where you're working more hours in a day than there are in an actual day. You're working 40 hours a day. You don't even know where that time is coming. You need imaginary time to make that up.
So yeah, like there's certain things that I want to happen, but I'm also like, yeah, that's not happening, and I have to accept that that's not happening.
Well, like
so the way the way to save that
sorry,
scene though, the best way I can think of to save that scene is like when Shigaraki's mom is literally like running towards him and falling into a mess. Switch it so that it's angled so that you're kind of like seeing from her perspective as she starts to fall apart, and then like you zoom out and then like you can keep that kind of like dark as like a dark mess of pieces falls around him, and you can kind of tell like, oh shit, she just fell apart on him. You can, and so like there's ways to angle it and like focus in on eyes and do shadows and different angles to like so that we don't get to see the direct bodies fall apart, but we can still get the idea of what actually occurred. And I think that's going to have to be I hope that's the approach Bones takes if they're that worried about censorship. But if they're not worried about censorship and they have gotten away with this and they're going to be able to like air it, then shit, we'll be fine. But I think that when people are approaching heavily like grotesque scenes, instead of trying to assume or even bothering to hope for the like most gruesome depiction, because even Attack on Titan had a lot of censorship.
Yeah.
You need to figure out what kind of censorship you'd be comfortable with and how it could be done while censored. So that way, when you give feedback and when you present your criticisms to a studio, or like if you're gonna like present it to an audience and you want people to actually like take that idea and run with it, it's in a way that there's something meaningful to be taken out of it. And it isn't just, don't censor this, don't do this thing that you need to do so that your show can stay on the air because I want to see blood and guts. It's, hey, because I want this show to still be on the air, but I also want the spirit of these things to be maintained. Can we please censor it in this way as a compromise so that we can still convey the heinousness without directly depicting it?
So one of the things about that is the more popular a work becomes, the more likely a network is going to want to move it up to a more marketable time slot. Because again, as you say, TV is about ad space. So for example, I've heard rumors that season 2 of JJK is going to be moved up earlier. There's a very high likelihood as well that season 2 of Kimetsu no Yaiba is also going to move further earlier into the day. And this is just something you're going to see. The more popular a work becomes, even if it's due to, more less restrictions due to having a later time slot, the more popular it becomes, the more it's going to be more further marketed. Therefore, it's going to be pushed up more slots, and you're going to see more censorship. I believe this also kind of happened with One Punch Man season 2, where like a lot of the gore where like from Saitama's punches that were shown beautifully in season 1, they like cut away or make an angle. And it's like the more popular a work becomes, you kind of just have to accept, at least in Japan and also I guess in the US, that it's gonna become more sanitized. And what didn't help the series was that Horikoshi deliberately started off trying to like deceive the audience by making it look extremely bright. So rather than like getting moved up later on, we just kind of got like that prime time slot, and that's what allowed it to explode. But it isn't really able to convey the same intensity as like the later scenes in the story. So it's like, yeah, you kind of have to figure out like what censorship you're okay with. Like to me, I want this to be treated as its own continuity now, because I realize that actually doing this the way the author intended is impractical, especially at this time slot, unless they have the DVD, and that won't come in like 6 months. So what I'm suggesting is you essentially do your own thing and still try to make it create, like if you can't make it as gory, try to create that same amount of dread. Maybe play with the camera, invert colors, make it like stylish and artistic to where like you replace that core component with something more suitable for that time slot, but still communicates that same roughly emotional feeling. And that's my thoughts on it.
So from what I want to add to this is that what's the point then about making stories today if people just because they want to when people want to sell they're gonna denature your own story, you know what I mean? I understand that we have to do compromises, but stuff like this, rearranging the story structure, cutting scenes, stuff like this, man. Horikoshi can say that he's honored every time to say that he feels that he's blessed, but still, Ali, as a creator myself, I can see myself be happy if people don't treat my baby, my life, the thing that saved my life for me, like this. You know what I mean? Just because they wanted to make it sell more. What's the point of making stories then? When you want to share with people, you want to share with people, and people want to make something out of your work, and the first thing they do is you believe in them, and then they use that trust every time. They misuse that trust, make the trust every time. Right now, allez, season 4, allez, when what I was, I didn't feel really good when they cut the stuff of overhaul because it was something important for this character, and I know how Horikoshi writes his character as a writer, and how important these backstories tells us about the world and tells us about these people are just people too, and they live in a weird society. And right now, these right now, where are we right now? I'm um I'm just sad. I'm just sad. As a fan, as a fellow creator, I can be sad for Horikoshi because it seems like he can be allowed to be sad. That's super weird. And I find it weird as a creator myself. So I just wish the best for him and
Well, it's also sorry, my bad.
and for just every creator because like, how many times do we see that an anime butchered the story of a manga that we all love? And sorry, till today, the God of High School stuff, I didn't digest it. So, oh man, even God of the Tower of God being it was the it was did it was not the best adaptation possible they could do, but still, what they did to God of High School, man, and wow, it's weird. It's weird. But yeah, it's I don't know how you guys feel, but if my story gets animated, I would just love that people respect it. And I can understand that you can have time restraints, but don't throw every logic of the story or just find the compromise something. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing about it. How horror is like Avi Tarian. That's true that he's full of love stuff like this. But the thing about it, you have to understand the Japanese society is based on hypocrisy. There's something that from what I heard from Japanese themselves, is that they can be do all happy face. They can show you the whole happy face all the time. And in your back, they can be really nasty. That's the thing about the thing that I heard personally from Japanese people. Even Asian people in general, they said that people are fake asses. That's a thing about the culture, how people interact with each other. And so for me, since I heard that every time when I see people acting like all good or not, I'm questioning myself, is it true or not? You know what I mean? That's a question. That's a question I always is it really how you feel? Or if you just do it like this because it is the best way to act like, here in the West, here in the West, we most of the time when something doesn't act like we want to, we shut it up, like we tell it with it. And you see some mangaka sometimes they talk about this shit too. Like the one who made Ashina no Sora, he said that the anime didn't didn't do the best for his story, animation wise stuff like this. And I can understand why he think like it because it was like I didn't never read the manga, but if you work your ass off on action panels and the action didn't was well portrayed, sorry man, I can understand that you can be mad on the anime. Some artists or some manga can say sometimes that the anime fucked it up for them as person, but still.
Well, it's also important to note that anything that kind of goes against kind of status quo or features things that are deemed like incompatible or like controversial within their own society, and this is for every society, it will inevitably be changed to be more accessible. Like, for example, this also happened with books too. 1984, 1984 by George Orwell was banned in Russia and in I believe the US. So every piece of art that like doesn't conform to the status quo either gets changed or removed. And at a certain point you kind of have to ask like, what are you okay with being changed if not removed? Because this also even happens in the manga too. You know, there are many interviews where like Manji was like, oh, you know, Hori would draw something super intense, and I'd be like, and you know, his initial intent was like to keep MHA as like this traditional, you know, shonen, and he was like, no, don't do that, like chill out a bit, chill out, and you know, Hori would like do a scene that was less intense, or like Horikoshi's always been trying to like push into that darker boundary, and Manji stopped him many a time. And now he does have that freedom, you know, with his newer guys, like the editor he had for MVA, with his new guy, because now he's proven. But it's like, and initially he was under stricter supervision, and that's for really all artists, except in like very few circles, like performance art. Well, that's like extreme.
So hold on, because like what I want to say with like manga is that, and with a lot of these series, like okay, so as far as if you're going to be on TV, yeah, you're always going to be mildly tampered with. I don't think you can escape that unless you're specifically pay-per-view events. Hence why like porn has pay-per-views, but it doesn't have like just a channel you can just pull up, because the advertising revenue just isn't there for like an actual TV station. Like that's why like the Playboy channel didn't have a bunch of porn on it. Actually, it was a bunch of other stuff and like random like reality shows.
Mm-hmm.
I know that because of my grandpa used to. Basically, my grandpa only watched Playboy and drank Coca-Cola when I was little.
What the hell?
He was pretty sick by the time I was born, so he didn't do much but like eat, drink, and watch Playboy in the back. So
yeah,
it's just like that sometimes.
Yep.
Don DeMarco.
Yeah, but Invincible was on the platform. On platform, it was I forgot his name. What Prime Video from Amazon.
Amazon Prime.
Yeah, Amazon Prime. Yes. So
yeah, but they have their own thing where it's like it's their own individual production.
Yes.
They don't have to go through like a standardized network. But they have to like meet a bunch of broad sense. They have to work within their own boundaries, but their own boundaries can be kind of artificially decided by someone else in the company that has more of a connection to the production. That's why they're able to go and have these way more violent scenes. Mm-hmm. In cable, you will not see that train scene. You will not. Just forget about it. You know.
Even I forgot. Devilman Crybaby.
Yeah.
Crybaby. It because it was on Netflix that it got, so they could go that far into the sex, the gore, stuff like this, you know.
Yes, of course.
If you read the original manga and you watch the anime version of it, the animation of it, LA, it's literally no. Bro, I won't talk about Amber right now because Amber, I understand why you can say that she's the world, but you have to understand her too. But yeah, people can put themselves in the shoes of somebody else most of the time. But yeah, the thing about it is that right now, My Hero Academia is a story. We live in a society, that I can understand you can cut the gore, but literally cutting some aspect of the story, what the story is trying to tell you, because some aspect of that world that we saw, it is a world that from the beginning we tell you that All Might created an utopian society in Japan. That's what people try to sell you in the story. The story tries to tell you that All Might is the symbol of peace. He created and peaceful time. We try to see you in utopia. People have superpowers, stuff like this. But from the first chapter, we show you that things doesn't really work. It is not really an utopia. And step by step, chapter after chapter, you delve more in that imperfection of that utopia.
Okay, you know what? This is something that I want to address because one of the strongest points of My Hero Academia is its accessibility. And that you can see a superhero society where superheroes are integrated into it and they have jobs and they sell things and everything's cool. They're a part of everyday life. Superheroes are normal. Boom. It's like you always have somebody to protect you. It's great. But it's important to note that even though 14-year-old Deku sells you that image, like when he's like talking about his flashback as he's like running through the streets, he starts off telling you that that idea is bullshit. And then All Might shatters that illusion when he basically says the strongest heroes are it's like incapable of actually performing, and the entire piece of Japan is held up by the illusion that All Might could come up and whoop your ass at any moment, when in reality, after All Might whoops 3 asses a day, he's got to sit down.
Yep.
So the entire first chapter is dedicated to how Hero Society is a functionally flawed, contingent upon dishonesty. It starts off with this whole premise of like this world is corrupt.
Yes.
The narrator is basically coming at you from an angle that should be assumed as jaded. You only assume that it's like a super upbeat narrative because he says that won't stop me. But he also straight up says this is objectively the case. And the reason why it doesn't stop him is what we find out in that chapter, because he got lucky and showed All Might. Because like not everybody gets to try to be a hero with All Might there. So that part is luck, and that's okay. He still proved himself. He just made the most of the opportunity that many people didn't have. And so that's why he's not set back anymore. But he doesn't lie and say that people who are born in that same position as him who don't have that opportunity are going to end up in the same spot. Nowhere does the story say that.
Never to say that. There's nothing about that story. Just rereading the first chapter, every time I read, I'm still thinking to myself that from the beginning that man knew what he was doing. Literally, Rikoshi knew. You have people talking about the fact about how people can handle their quirks correctly. In the first chapter, there is really people who can control their quirks. There is people, and from the first chapter, we are shown how people can see the world in a black-white way, like with the I forgot his name, the wood superhero like Sylvester, I don't know what.
Kamui Woods.
Kamui Woods, literally talking to a villain who just stole a purse. Oh, you're somebody so evil, stuff like that. You know what I mean? That's the play of all this from the first chapter, the first page. All men are not born equal, are not created equal. Yes, that's it. From the and Horikoshi show us I will say in kind of color palette or drawing the hopeful aspect, but the things that he said in the bubbles weren't that hopeful. It is what we call it. We call it in literature. We call it like it can be. It's kind of the paradox, literally paradox, because the thing that he's saying stuff are nihilistic, but the thing that he shows when you show the drawing stuff like that are really like hopeful. And the anime nailed it. First season, the anime really nailed it most of the time.
Like, here's about I also kind of find Deku's response kind of to be like a rejection of that whole like idiotic like bootstraps mentality where you just gotta build yourself up by your bootstraps. It's like the funny thing about like that phrase is if you pull yourself up by your bootstraps, you don't get anywhere, you're still on the floor. You don't actually move up in the world. So I find it interesting that like it was Deku, like Deku openly admits like, hey, this is luck. but he worked with that luck and made something out of it. But he still needed that luck in the first place. And, he could have been heroic as possible, but without that luck, he would have just been another casualty.
Yep.
Also, that's like reason 1,400 that like why the Conservative Party is dumb. Anyway, but point aside.
No. That's why I really when you
bootstraps, dumbest thing I ever heard.
When the anime change stuff to some there is stories when the anime can add and change stuff, it don't really affect the. It depends how they change it too, huh? It can really not affect the story like this, But Horikoshi way of writing, changing stuff have so big effects on stuff. Because he worked on the details. He never wasted panel. You know what I mean? That's the thing about Horikoshi, the fact that he never wasted panel. Even the words that he said. Just reread the story by yourself. Take your time. Don't think with agendas. Don't think there'll be a conservative standalone. that's not really the fact that I'm conservative. Just rereading the story every time, I'm always blown away how that man did it. From the beginning. That's the thing about it. I'm just shook every time. Every time that we start to read the first chapter, we read some arcs just for myself, I'm just always shook how he did it, and he changed sometimes his mind too, to show that he's human too. When he said that he had in the beginning of the story, he had just one vision about what was heroism, but then the fact that he had experience with life, he saw different stuff, he understood that heroism can be shown in every type of stuff. That's why we have the arc with Jiro trying to that helps to save Eddie mentally with the music. You know what I mean? Because he's saved by song. Sometimes an artist can make a song. He doesn't know that, but he can save your life too. And that is something that I really felt that too. You know what I mean? And the Horikoshi just showed that he grows as a person too while he's writing this story. And when people change stuff on that work on detail, the fact that we see the devil in the details, it tells a lot when you see stuff. You know what I mean? That's why. Voila. This is how I feel right now. I watched some part of the episodes. I didn't watch the full episode because I know that anime artists can have fun with it. But I understand the manga readers.
Yeah.
Fan of Horikoshi himself. I'm just as a creator myself, just seeing people destroying my favorite arc, the work of peace that it is. It's painful, bro. MVA, my man. You're suffering over here.
Free the homie.
But hey, look. Like I said.
What is it?
Boss?
No, I just read something dumb. Sorry.
Oh, what was it?
Zutara people. They always making.
Zutara.
Bro. Some of these guys need a right hook from the face by like Geronta Davis or something, bro.
Bro, do you understand they're gonna make it canon in the Netflix stuff? Oh, bro,
it's crazy.
Oh man,
oh, that's wild. Oh.
Man, it's painful. Just thinking about it making my head hurt. Oh man, because fuck. Why? What can the man made the idea you want, and you say now we can have a better story than yours?
Yes, because Qatar is totally compatible, bro. You just don't know, bro.
Man.
Like all water and fire, man. They're gonna make smoke.
That's literally the kind of logic that goes into it. Water and fire. That's romantic.
Oh man,
He's
So
from
I actually think
he's from the country that like basically genocided her like most of her tribe.
and then committed
So
multiple war crimes on top of that, and then colonized it. Oh, that's so cute.
it reminds me of the picture that I saw of a black guy posing as a slave, and you have
Oh
that one. Yeah, these women, the women with the white girl like posing the master stuff. Oh man, that was so wrong, man. Oh, bro.
no! I saw that. Hey, yo, I saw that. I was like, hey, yo, dog, you can't give me. Hey, pick this up my feed, bro.
And they read a book about we found each other. I was oh man, that was I think I couldn't read further, man. Oh man, that was painful.
Bro, I saw that. I was like, hey, yo, bro, bring this off my feed, bro. Like, literally take my phone and burn it. Like, burn the feed.
Oh, man.
I was, oh my, how could I, bro?
Look, all I'm gonna say is
what
there's a
even
reason
is
why
that, bro?
Zutaras don't have happy relationships. Real life, okay? Now,
Toxic. People are toxic. I'm telling you. People are toxic.
Bro, some people are attracted to toxic masculinity. That's all I know.
and toxic dynamics in general, but that's their problem. So,
Get yourself some therapy.
time to do around the horn. Ghostbusters. All right. Real quick, Squid, while you're here, let's get your final thoughts. We're gonna wrap this up.
Man, you know, man, this is some fire, bro. Ochako putting in work, you know, the civilians being trash. You know what? I'll make one more. I'll make one more relevant joke. Okay, the civilians remind me of Heavenly Stands. Now that's the only one for this for today. Now, what else? Endeavor got the drip. He looking like a detective from the 20s. Nezu got a bag. That's nice to know. I mean, he should have a bag. He's managing UA. That dude should be at least got like a decent salary. I'm making a multi-billion-dollar school, and they pay me like what? A district? Nah. So that makes sense. The UA barrier looks great. I'm surprised it took only 11 months to build, but that just shows you how advanced the technology in this world is. Shigaraki's still the final villain. You know, the king is coming back and he's gonna win us a ring. You know, like when Jordan came back. What else? I can't wait for Toga to come back. That's gonna be great. I think she's probably actually one of the civilians. I'm not sure which one. But yeah, that's gonna be pretty cool to see. And Bakugo is just so developed, so grown. You know, he's so mature now and emotionally healthy, and that's great to see in comparison to like the toxicity of like his earlier chapters in the story. It's really a night and day shift when you see like the beginning versus the end. Altogether, I give this a solid like 8 out of 10. This is a great chapter. A really great job on Ochako taking having that urgency and that agency to like take control of the situation. And I hope they do MVA well. I really do. Like this episode is the last one they get to actually include everything. I'm not betting on it, but I hope. I really do. But besides that, yeah, 8 out of 10.
That's
Yeah,
good.
free Palestine.
Ponzu.
This chapter, we get some great stuff. We get exposition about the situation in UA. That's what we needed. Right now, we know what everything what really UA is as a school. It's gonna become an anime robot. Oh, bro, it's gonna be fun to see that move and Shigaraki destroy it because I just want to see You know, that's the song of Linkin Park. In the end, how the song, how the refrain goes. In the end, it didn't mean it. I just want that to happen to them. I don't know why, but yeah, as a writer, this can bring so much. Um, Next to this, yeah, when people talk about you that the right side, people of the right side are the smartest ones. You see that right now with Nezu. Nezu is a rat, but still he had the deepest bags, and people respect him because he was more human than the he was making thesis more human-like than humans themselves.
How 6ix9ine more of a rat than Nezu?
Bro, uh, being from the '96, I'm a rat too, so respect. So next to this, the Viraka stuff, it is something that we were waiting for a long time. And I watched a video about the guys were talking that they were scared that she would have taken I forgot his name, Midoriya and jump with him and then gone away. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and that would have been really impolite for her and like superior. And the feeling that we get from an action like this was superior, like people, I think superior than the people themselves. But that what I love here is what she did, what the Superman would do. She's taking uh uh to captivate all the voice of the people to watch her by being on a higher place. And she took and she just talked. She just talked, remind them of the basic stuff. Look at this nigga. Look at him. Look at him. Look at his
The
clothes.
eyes. Get in their face.
Look at his face.
Talk to him.
He looks so good. He looks so trash. He stinks too. But look at him. He protects you. That was beautiful. That was the right thing to do to remind people that to stop to because that's the thing that we do when as people when we follow our fears, our agendas, we really try to try to strip the humanity of the things that go against this fear and this idea. You know what I mean? We try to make them look like monsters and we give them names. You know what I mean? But we forget most of the time that these people are human too. And she really brought back the humanity to Deku and the heroes even because people were literally the way that they were talking to our man Best Genius, you know, he looks more like a number one hero to end over to me sometimes, man, the way that he talks. But yeah. But that's the thing about it. They really they strip the humanity of the heroes away and this you heroes failed us every time. No, 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 no. And she brought it back to them, that humanity. I really like the thing. I was scared in the beginning because I didn't know where he was going, Horikoshi, about with her about the hero saving the hero saving the hero, like the police of the police. But you know what I mean, on in a better way. The way that she's writing it, I really love it. That's the thing about this character. Since the beginning, she was somebody that was sweet, was carrying up people's backs. She watched her back every time. That was how we presented her. She watched the back of Midoriya. He was far. He was almost when he went to his first exam. He was about to fall, and she was there. Thank you, Speed Blitz. That's the thing about it. And right now, we since the beginning that payoff we get the payoff now. I really want to see more of her, more of the class, more of the situation, and I just want our goat Shigaraki back to destroy all that hope because yeah, that's how story goes. So yeah, thank you for listening to us. Right last hey Lordy.
I'm still waiting for Donda to come out. Kanye been delaying that for like 2 weeks.
Calm down, Squid. Andrew Lolivar came through and said, I'm off work. Yeah, now real quick, this chapter lowered the chances of Nezu being the trader big time in my mind, spending his money on the wall. Damn, it increased it in my mind. But
Next.
Oh, next.
Explodable steel plates. Think
Hold
about
on.
it.
Next, we're gonna pass the mic to Tarnish.
Yeah, I'm still here. Yeah, this chapter was really good. I have a lot of things I like from this chapter. First of all, everything with Nezu, I actually really like. Like he fully made sense and everything he said. Even though I have my underlying, thoughts of him being the traitor, everything he said made sense on the surface level. I love the UA barrier and all the setup for it. Because that fight that takes place here, that might take a lot of chapters. Like, I don't think this battle or this evacuation attempt is going to be short. I think it'll be like a meaty amount of chapters. I love Best Genius' speech stepping up to try to stop the crowd. Everything he said, he really he told them what it was really. He didn't lie. He didn't sugarcoat anything. He knows it's not going to get them nowhere. So he said what he said and they still on that bullshit. And that's when Gravity had to step up. And, I still think she has more to say. I don't think his speech is over yet. I feel like there's more coming next chapter, which I can't wait to see. I've been waiting for her to step up and do something, worth mentioning. You see the way Deku's looking at her. That's they end game. He don't care what nobody says. But I'll give this chapter a 10 out of 10 just on future, irrelevance alone, since this is the time. This is the first step that Nezu was saying that will lead to a hero greater than All Might, the ultimate hero. Yeah, that's it.
All right, that boy Tarnish done said what he said. Bishop Watkins.
Be my homie Makia.
Man, this chapter was good. I mean, I still don't trust Nezu as far as I can throw him pretty far. He's kind of tiny, so never mind. I'll throw him against that wall that he built. So as much as I don't trust that rat, I like everything else in this chapter. I like having this panel here with just the phone speaks volumes to me with how we're being, especially in this day and age with media and how we consume it. I like that little touch, but I don't need to praise Horikoshi even more for doing social commentaries like that. Speaking of social commentaries, hey, that's genius. Good job trying to calm everybody down. Too bad they still think y'all are losers and failed. Like, what do you think was going to happen? They were going to all be like, oh, okay, fine. Nah, dude, you guys failed. Eat it. I love what page is it? Page 11 here with when the crowd gets all riled up and that activates danger sense. Nice little touch there. And my favorite page is page 12 here with Uraraka just above the crowd as she's going. It for some reason I picture this as a one of those inspirational pictures you might see of I don't know, put some inspirational quote above it. Love the Uraraka moment because it makes sense. And it also reminds me of that episode of SpongeBob where Patrick was trying to help SpongeBob think he wasn't ugly when he actually had bad breath. Just telling everybody to look at him. Weasel Girl back. Cool, neat. And then, of course, Uraraka being... It's interesting that the words of her, of somebody surpassing All Might, has her in there because it's also matching with the whole idea of we need more than just one person to be this symbol and to be the pillar to hold us up. Again, like I've always thought of somebody like Endeavor as the symbol of strength compared to like hope and peace and all that. So we have him being like this pillar of strength. Uraraka could be that pillar of hope, having the multiple pillars instead of the one pillar to hold everything up. I think I like how these words going towards All Might. I think we're going to have more instances where we have like, oh, Bakugo is going to be like this part of All Might's pillar, and then Deku is going to be the other part. Ida, Kirishima, the list goes on and on. But amazing chapter again, as always, by Horikoshi. I mean, I can't say any more than that. Just learn how to read if you're out there and think that Uraraka is a bad character, because she's not.
A good recommendation, like some good teaching material, would be Dr. Seuss's Cat in the Hat. There are actually many tests you can do to like test your reading comprehension on that work. And I think that if you build slowly, you can actually start gaining some pretty good comprehension by like the end of maybe 2 to 3 years, assuming you're an adult. But yeah, Watkins is right. But we all know Horikoshi's actually Masashi Kishimoto. We know Otoko is going to be a housewife at the end of the series. So that's it. Because remember, this is a Naruto ripoff.
Dog, chill. Don't scare off our new viewer that we acquired today.
How many viewers did we acquire today?
Oh no, we acquired a new viewer. They were like, hey, awesome sessions. First time here. Welcome. All right. Hold up.
That was jokes.
Yup. And now, say yes.
Hey, I like the chapter. I always like seeing Nezu because he's in this story so little, and every time he gets a moment, I actually really like what he's saying, what he's doing. I mean, of course, we can argue about how much we can all trust him, but I really enjoyed this chapter when he actually did something and told us what his plans are. And this little not really callback, like unsaid callback to the suffering he went through himself with his lack of understanding and tolerance, and so on and so forth, which we all know what he went through. Of course, he doesn't have to mention it here. Just shows what kind of characters. And I really like seeing Nezu just being the principal and actually doing things and putting this whole system into place, which, I mean, I assume we all hope it's going to work. We all also, I think, fear that it might not work as they are planning it to work.
I want it to fail.
I wanted to excel too. I wanted to really work in a way, because I just don't want this to be for nothing. And I really like they're doing it. The other thing I really liked was just watching through this crowd, because I think Horikoshi went through some effort to, in this crowd, every here and there, he put in characters that we know, like Chihiro's father just randomly standing there. We saw Kota and Ragdoll and all these characters just being in the crowd and us being able to pick them out. I actually went through the chapter multiple times and tried to see if there are characters that maybe we've missed, and probably are, because there are a few characters that he shows here and there, and I don't have the memory to remember them all. I really do not like the civilians in this show, but I understand that it's so realistic and it's a lot of fun just watching how this society crumbles. Fun is maybe a bad word, but it is a lot of fun. So I really like this. With Uraraka, I think that was Tarnish. That I think I want to hear a little bit more that she says, because the words she used so far I don't think will be enough to reach anybody, because she didn't really say that much yet.
What she said to me, what she said so far was basically like just explain Deku's situation.
Yeah, like she's saying a lot of stuff, and she repeats herself like 3 or 4 times that he's a special power, and that's why they're after him, and so on and so forth. She's explaining things that they actually know, and that to some degree Gina's always said this before.
Media been snitching.
So I'm really looking forward if she's saying even more than that, and it has absolutely reached Deku, I think, the way he looks to, but I don't think this is quite enough to reach the masses yet. And even though they do look completive, and I also agree with Watkins that I was confused why, when Nezu thought about this new hero that would surpass All Might, the panel was showing Uraraka. I was confused by that too, because of course when we're talking about the character or the hero that can surpass Yagi, even All Might himself, we're all thinking about Deku, but why is Uraraka in the panel? And the thing that goes hand in hand with that is that I was a bit confused by the chapter title, to be honest, that single step, because that's something that Nezu mentions up there when he says like that humanity is just a single step away from tolerance and basically from humanity, from being good and from justice and all these things that he's mentioned. And but I'm not quite sure what this single step is supposed to be. And like you'd think that if you talk about like a single step or maybe a first step for Deku, this is not quite it. Like there's nothing in this chapter where Deku takes any steps at all. This is more something where it's hard to put where this step is in this chapter, which this chapter is titled for, which I found interesting, and I haven't quite figured it out yet. But these things together, I think, open a lot of questions in terms of what Nezu's actually thinking, and I like that. So yeah, that's my opinion.
All right, and finally, Archbishop East.
Do you know that Nezu size correlates to his screen time?
Shut your ass up. Oh, dude. Anyway.
Yeah, boy, you know me, boy.
Well, what do we have here? Looking at me like a bunch of motherfucking payoff, nigga. Damn, it feels so good to be right.
Getting this check.
I swear, boy. I swear, y'all don't get tired of being wrong. Y'all don't get tired of getting your ass whooped. I'm telling you, I started to think some of y'all just some masochists. Or maybe you just got a humiliation heat because you damn sure don't like. You damn sure like to lose. I remember a couple of y'all, you know, previous weeks, y'all was like, damn. Horikoshi, she said he looked like Bakugo go do something, but they ain't do nothing. Lo and behold, week following that, Bakugo finally uses Deku's actual name, Izuku. First time since we seen them niggas at the start of the series. And apologizes. Actual apology. Not making excuses like, oh, my reasoning for doing this was this, that, and other. He said, nah, I did this because I thought this way, this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, I fucked up. I was wrong. My bad, bro. I'm sorry. Like a real apology. Followed up. Then we got this chapter once again. Ochiko, it's a fact. I'm gonna let you know now. Now for discussion. You know, I hope, or you know, I'm really hoping. No, next chapter, factually, all Ochiko sees. Ain't no fucking if, ands, or buts about it. I don't give a damn. Dick on the table. It is what it is. All right, let you know that shit right now. But man, listen, y'all complained about the setup, well, him following through on the Ochiko, but guess what? We here now. It coming through. Let me address this. What y'all was talking about. Wondering why the panel is on Ochiko and it's talking about surpassing. They're talking about taking it one step forward. Yes, that's the problem. Y'all looking at solely at Deku. The thing that's going to make Deku and Shigaraki greater than their predecessors is they're not doing all that shit alone. They're not doing all that shit alone prior to like they were before. You know, it's them, it's multiple people taking the step forward in order to change and all come together.
All Might took on the burden alone.
Yeah,
but
took on all on his own. This is an encompassing thing, not just one person. Okay, that one step forward is everybody coming forward because Deku went and took the one step forward in order to get. He thought he wasn't going to take it, but now coming together with everybody before the catalyst, everybody they're going to help push Deku forward into becoming the greatest. Okay, it's not just a Deku show. All right, there's more to it than just that going on. Man, it's absolutely beautiful, man. I can't wait till next week. I'm head hunting, so I'm definitely. Oh, best believe that Volume 33 going to Baby Girl, and I do got screenshots of a couple of y'all niggas I was talking shit about no Ochiko volume cover. Don't worry, I got the Twitter screenshots and I got a Discord, so we'll be coming.
Lyrical clip for y'all.
We'll be coming for you later this year. Do not worry about it. You know what I'm saying? But none of that. Don't worry.
Might be next month. I think the next volume is
in October.
Yeah.
October. But that was gonna be the Nagant one. That was gonna be the Nagant one. So you know
he might do another preview like he did in 31, where he gave us that random preview, which low key spoiled her getting the microphone.
Yeah,
he was wild. He was wilding for that, but
yeah, you know that nigga didn't care about that shit. But hey, man.
So look, you know what I'm gonna say to us? If in my last review, I straight up said that this Uraraka thing was gonna be multiple chapters.
It is. I think it is. She's not done yet.
Like,
in fact, she's not done.
Like I straight up said it. I was like, this isn't going to be a one chapter thing because with Bakugo, you needed that chapter to pay off that conversation, that moment of humility. But for Ochako, who has been sidelined and we haven't gotten to see as much of her adventures on her own, it is absolutely necessary for her to actually get a time period where she's at the forefront, getting to talk, speaking. And more than that, conveying the way she feels about the circumstances around her, what they've been through, from seeing Night Eye die to watching Deku try to sacrifice himself to having to prioritize civilian rescue. Because a lot of people love to say that Ochako is just chasing Deku, but ultimately, during the war arc, the only reason she was able to even get into that scuffle and fight with Toga is because she chose hero work over Deku.
Mm-hmm. So they on the chase. She decided to save niggas out in the street.
So all these small things, this ability to put her feelings in check and balance things out. Now she needs to be willing to express, like, not only, and the value of that is that here and now, when she talks about Deku's value, it's going to be talking about him as an asset, but also talking about the ways in which humans on a base level deserve treatment and rights and respect, and how they all need to start looking at each other. And that's how we get that first step towards the conversation about how quirk society needs to move forward and how it treats its people who commit crimes, its people whose quirks go wild, etc. Like, those things need to be addressed, and it's only going to be possible due to Ochako finally getting people to take the time to look at heroes, and in turn, with heroes and villains being the same side, two different sides of the same coin, it will eventually be able to allow people to start looking at villains properly too. You have that established already with Hawks and Nagant literally being the same role within hero society, going down two different paths. That parallel is going to pay off too.
See, there it goes. And it's just like, this conversation is going to be very important. This conversation had to happen before Shigaraki and them fucked everything over, okay? Before the liberation ideology takes hold and waves control of everything. This is an important conversation they need to have right here and now. Very important.
You remember how everybody always says, okay, so after Shigaraki takes over, how is there going to be a story after? Because of stuff like this, where people are actually banding together. Like
he already established, Horikoshi established, if you just look deeper into the thing, what the fuck the vigilantes corps are setting this up now, and then you go back, okay, if you set up now, and let's say, and then we'll skip a significant amount of time, either you time skip, no time skip, I don't give a fuck, we'll skip a significant amount of time in the future and over a course of a months or years, and then after Shigaraki can do their thing, and then the vigilantes corps that started months ago will have taken effect, and they'll have more forces to start fighting back towards an empire they don't feel, and the repercussions and the stuff they feel now, the civilians might actually help to do some stuff too. And then them seeing the chaos doesn't work, but the previous way didn't work either. And then the feelings, the realization they'll get about how valuing the heroes, and like Anki said, same sides of the coin, all that. Then they'll come together to meld in order to create a better future. But a lot of y'all can't comprehend that because y'all can't read thing that's in your face. But that's neither here nor there. But you see how you see how Aniki and Tarnish helped and join in, right? How you had the big, most climactic, finale fundraisers. Well, you let other people help you and step in instead of trying to do everything on your own, a solo dolo, and think you're the biggest and baddest. It's better. Two heads are better than one. Three heads are typically better than one. Coming together as a unit, as a force, everybody has strengths, everybody has weaknesses. So all
four heads are above your eyes.
Is a better combination. Just one person trying to do everything alone, hold all the weight on their shoulders. I mean, Horikoshi doing that now with his series, but that's neither here nor there. Let's wrap this up, man. Listen, you already know how we rocking. Fucking gas pack, 10 out of 10, and that shit don't fucking end. And when I say I'm coming for you niggas next week, I'm on your head, boy. Because guess what we do? Each faction never lose, and it's always undefeated of the East, baby. What it do?
All right, y'all, that's the Church of MHA for this week. But before we go, I want to give y'all just a parting wish, which is I just dropped the YouTube link in the chat. Hit that link up. Go raid Anime Lately. They're live right now. Those are my boys. Haven't seen them online in a while, but they're live. They're active. Go pop by. Tell them what's up. Drop a hail Hori in the chat.
Bro.
Let them know what's good. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Drop those likes if you haven't already.
Shout out to Nafisa.
I should have a chapter review out within the next 2 days. I'm hoping I'll have it done by today. We'll see what it is. So yeah.
Shout out to Christina Applegate.
That's it. Your bishops love you.
Belgium, bro.
Support you.
Netherlands too.
The church is worldwide, baby. All love.
Mr. Worldwide.